evening. Welcome along to Group B here at the MODUS Super Series, where by the end of tonight, we'll finalise our field for tomorrow evening's finale. Well, we know 3 of the 6 so far. Let's find out who the other 3 are going to be. And this is what's happened last night. Mike Gillett picked up a solitary victory from his opening night. 2 points to his name, but he did have some highlight checkouts like this 160 against Richard North. As for Gary Stone, the granite Scottish slinger, he only won 1 game. He was the group favourite. He's got work to do tonight. Wesley Plazier won his opening 2 matches. He proceeded to then lose the final 2. He finds himself in 3rd on 4 points. There's a 2-way tie at the top. Richard North on 6 points, winning 3 of his 4 matches. But it is Patrick who is top of the pile. Again, winning 3 from 4. Can the Dutchman make his way through to tomorrow night's finale? Waxing lyrical with me up here on the balcony tonight. It's a very good evening to the former Premier League champion, Glenn Durrant. Glenn, what a night we've got in store here in Group B.
It's got to be better quality than it certainly was last night. It was very disappointing, actually, and it was Patrick van den Bogart who'd done really well to top the group overnight. I think there's players in that room that want to prove a point. That starts with an opening game. It could be a big opening start for Patrick.
Well, we're just getting over the drama of Group C earlier on this afternoon, where Jared Cole and Justin Hood have made their way through to the finale. They're going to join John Henderson into tomorrow night's finale. Let's quickly analyse what we saw in Group C a little bit earlier on. Jared Cole through as the group winner, but both him and Justin, they didn't have it their own way at all today. Yeah,
it was an extremely competitive group. It was quite enjoyable, really. It was some classic match play, not an awful lot to separate them. And you just wanted somebody to sort of step up and just, to be counted. And there was a moment where Jared Cole really kicked in and he was a deserved winner. Justin Hood was playing only at 80% of his game because of an injury. It was a tough ask, and it just shows you the calibre of him for him to come through that as well. So it was a very, very interesting group.
So we'll see the pair of them tomorrow night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth for the finale here at the Super Series. Tonight, the focus and the attention is going to be on the gripping conclusion that we're going to see to Group B, because everybody is still in play at the halfway stage in the group. This is the table then at the halfway stage. Patrick van der Bogart and Richard North, they're the 2 players at the top of the pile on 6 points. And then, well, everyone, as I say, is still in play.
190 average between Patrick and Richard yesterday in a field of that quality. I'm not often too critical of the groups at the MODUS Super Series, but yesterday really disappointed. There was an amazing game between Mike Gillett and Gary Stone, but apart from that, it was very mediocre. It has to step up tonight.
Wesley Plazier won his first 2 and then proceeded to lose his last 2. What would have been your assessment of his night?
Disappointing. Won 180 on the night. He said he's come with this massive reputation. He seems very happy again in the players' area. I've sort of trying to analyse whether he's enjoying the experience, but like I said, this big reputation has been the World Master, tremendous on the European Tour as well, beat some great players, flattered to deceive.
So that is the table. Let's see what the bookies think then in terms of odds for tonight's session, because Richard North is the 13-10 favourite. Now, Richard North, as you can see, is involved in the first game this evening. You can hear him from behind. He's the 13-10 favourite. Patrick van der Bogart now, he was 9-1 outsider yesterday going into proceedings. He has come in 7 points.
And like I said, Patrick's highest average yesterday was 89. I just think it wasn't because he was outstanding. It was just the rest of the guys just didn't meet their expectations. And like I said, it's all to play for. Richard North's full of confidence tonight. He's wearing the orange shirt to get over that double Dutch that they've got in the players area there. He's assured me he's at 7-9 darters today, so maybe Richard North is full of confidence.
As he saved 8 for the Live Lounge here in Portsmouth. Right, let's see what the bet builder's saying then about tonight's action. Now, this is a treble which is paying just over 4-1 here this evening. We'll begin with the first game between Patrick van der Bogart and Richard North. Now, they're saying that there's going to be over 5.5 legs in this one, and then we're going to have a bit of a handicap bet with Richard North against Mike Gillett, and then an over 5.5, again, total legs bet in the all-Dutch affair.
Yeah, I like the top one and the bottom one. I think the first first one will be close because I think the group will be really tight. I mean, Richard North or Patrick van den Bogarde can really take grips of this group with a win in this match. So whoever comes through this game is going to really take a full ascendancy.
Are you ready for the action?
We're ready.
Let's get it on then. It's Friday night here at the MODUS Super Series where we're going to find out the final 3 qualifiers for tomorrow night's final here under the roof of the church. We're going to kick off with a battle between Patrick van den Bogarde and Richard North. Glenn Durrant's going to make his way down to the commentary box to describe all the action with Matthew Edgar. Evening, Matt.
Evening, Henry. Evening, everyone joining us for the conclusion of Group B, where we're going to have our final 3 players making the lineup. And already I can't take my eye off Richard North. He's all over the place. He was up and down the stairs. It's a lot quieter now he's out there, but he's got a job to do. And Glenn Durrant said Richard North told him he hit 7 9-darters. I thought that was quite ironic because he told me he hit 9 9-darters.
Through first.
And that was much earlier than Glenn, so the number's obviously gone down. Paul Hinks on the stick this evening, calling you through all your action. Glenn Durrant has already alluded to the fact that Richard North has decided to wear orange. That's a theme that we're going to see throughout the night. And that's because yesterday, the Dutch players, Patrick van den Bogarde and Wesley Plazier, was offering a bit of a pommeling to Richard North and Gary Stone. So they thought, if you can't beat them, join them. I will be joined throughout the evening by the Premier League champion. I'm sure he'll mention that himself many times throughout the evening. It's Glenn Durrant.
That was hard for you to say, that wasn't it? Richard North is absolutely bouncing around the arena tonight. I think he sees this opening game as a great opportunity to really have one foot in the final tomorrow. He's up against a player here who's just... nothing seems to faze him. Did many of us know an awful lot about him on Monday morning when he played his first game against Wesley Plazier? Definitely not. Did we think he'd be top of Group B after Wesley really gave him a bit of a paste in that first game?
60.
Definitely not, but he's proved an awful lot of people wrong, and maybe himself. He's demonstrated some real qualities, a lot of bottle and room for improvement.
Have you noticed already that Richard North is not playing with the same equipment that he played last night? This is a different barrel completely.
I didn't like the dart going in last night. I just didn't think they suited him, and that is a totally and utterly different barrel.
50.
Maybe he's got bored of hitting all those 9-darters and just fancied a challenge.
Yeah, just the 7, he said today. Patrick for a 138. What a start this would be.
132.
Does have the tendency of going for a double just to drop low. In particular, going for double 10. Landed in double 15. But it's a great start. And Richard North, for all the confidence.
58. Patrick, your car
has been a very poor start. Patrick's only problem this week is seeing out legs. His scoring's up there. This is the area he has to and needs to improve on. He should really bust.
No score.
And it's not the end of this leg. It is not the end of this leg. If Richard North has been watching Patrick van den Bogarde this week, he'll realise that this leg of darts isn't over.
180. Patrick, car 6.
Well, he's back in it out of nowhere. The first maximum of the evening. Oh, that's a bit tricky. You can see how he's had to move across the hockey.
Game shot on the first leg. Patrick van den
Bogarde. And he was buzzing when he left here last night. When we left here, I saw him walking down the road on a video call. He was really excited, really happy.
Second leg, Richard to throw first. Game on.
I did manage to catch up with Richard North earlier. Let me just see what my notes say. It says he's hit 9 9-darters.
83.
He can't miss he can't miss a thing, and he's bashing them all up on the practice board. But don't say I said this. Make it out like you're saying. Oh no, I shouldn't have read that.
You shouldn't have said the last bit there. But yeah, what a character. He's
42.
There's not many people who dislike Richard North. And like I said, he just walked in this venue tonight and he said, I was quiet last night, I won't be tonight. And let me tell you, I thought he was doing the commentary for us for most of the night.
He denied the fact we could hear him. He went, you couldn't hear me in there last night. I'm like, they could hear you in the next building down.
57.
He wasn't taking photos today either, so there was no selfies with him, so I couldn't get a photo with him.
43.
Extraordinary decision to change your full setup when you were top of Group B.
This is not unusual for Richard North. I've covered his games quite a few times. I would not be surprised to see him change throughout the night as well. I was more surprised that last night he used one set throughout.
He's just snapping on that point of release. It's not smooth enough for me right now, and that's why I felt this match had legs. I could see it going 4-2, 4-3. Because the winner of this one really can see that
58.
That prize had been here on Saturday night.
I always like it when you come into day 2 of a Group B, because we know half of the lineup and it just starts to take shape and you start to get that flavour and that excitement. But it's got to be said at the moment, I'm not seeing much to oppose John Henderson.
Patrick van Boharder could be on 8 points after this. He's had 189 average, 2 very low 80 averages and a 76. That's not smacking to me that we've got a very, very informed Patrick van den Boharder. That's telling me that Group B was a huge, huge disappointment last night.
60.
Yeah, one person will be really enjoying their poor performances or mediocre performance, John Henderson. I was wondering what he might be doing this week.
95.
These past couple of days since qualifying for Group A. And as I was leaving the building, he was coming in for an hour's practice. Great decision.
Fantastic.
64. Patrick Car 70.
Like I said, we've seen him struggle in this area, but when he's had one dart or a double, going to get 2 again. That's awkward.
.42. Richard O'Carr 68.
It's clear as day what his problem is. The 1-1.
36. Patrick O'Carr
This was an area that Patrick did improve on yesterday. 42 attempts, managed to convert 14. So that's that 33% that we talk about all the time. That's where you need to be. But he's not on that level at the moment. You do like that, don't you, when you get that little bit of a pause when the dart hasn't gone correct.
Second leg.
Well done there, Patrick van Boharder.
I was speaking to Patrick on Monday, tried to tell me his full name in
Patrick
Dutch, but it's a bit of a
game on.
Patrick van den Boharder. For a typical Yorkshireman, as a referee, Bogart, he's just called him. Yeah, a bit of Hinksy.
125.
Very low 70 average, Patrick, and is in cruise control at this moment.
I've just got a feeling we're not going to see these darts all night from Richard North, because he's not got the weight of them. They're losing the line, a lot of 5s and 1s. And he is someone that will put that down to the equipment.
You have to say Patrick is very, very straight. I like the balance of the dart. I like the looking of the dart. He's technically sound. That's what you get from Northie, from absolute nowhere.
He's a player with quite a lot of stage experience, played in the World Championship, 45. The Grand Prix, 5 times in the UK Open, European Championship, Players' Championships, and the World Match Play, which is currently taking place in Blackpool this week.
Yeah, there was a period of a year or two where Northie was smashing 100 averages in for fun.
$134, Richard O'Carr 76.
Both on 2 darters, but it's Northie you've got to say is a big favourite for this leg. But that is horrific.
36.
He'd be very,
Patrick
very
O'Carr 97.
frustrated with that. Patrick van den Boharder If he can just hit the treble 19 on this first start. Likes to go double 19. Wowza. Tops for 3-0.
Game shot on the third leg. Patrick van den
Absolute
Bogart.
quality, and just his facial mannerisms there. He realises the importance of that. Like I say, he's not playing spectacular, but he's leading 3-0.
Fourth leg, Richard to throw first. Game on.
Is never on the lips of commentators and pundits who's going to win it, but he's quietly but effectively
46.
getting on with his job. Not only could this be a big 4-0 victory, we learned this afternoon as well, if you can get your legs different in a good place, that's virtually an extra point for you.
96.
Depending on results, by the time he comes back for his next game, he could be qualified. He could just be playing for the title of the group.
100.
And hasn't had a 90 average yet.
He's come extremely close in match number 2, 89.49, so pretty much there. But he's
One out of them
just as
40.
liable to drop into the 70s.
So be really, really frustrating for Richard North.
60.
Options here. Up on 265. 19s is usually the go-to. The fact that North's on 295, he did have the opportunity just to lay up.
57.
He just snapped his arm and body in that third dart. It's definitely a different throw to his first two darts.
60.
140 here. How smooth them first two darts, and just watch the snap that goes into the last one.
82.
A lot of the time, players will say that they've left their best darts on the practice board, but if what Richard North was saying was remotely true,
100. Patrick O'Carr,
definitely saying that's
126.
the case. Come from 9 darters, he told you 7, so to a 76 average.
I'm beginning to think he was lying.
48.
I mean, he has been
Richard
known in the
O'Carr,
past to slightly
135.
exaggerate a little bit.
This could prove us all wrong. Get him going.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Richard North.
That's exactly what he did. That was a stunning 1-3-5, and boy, did he need it. He turned round to the audience and realises, no one watching.
Fifth leg, Patrick to throw first.
Patrick is still a big favourite. Even if it goes the distance, he's still going to have the darts on a couple of them. And usually, when he has the darts for the match, he usually starts very, very well. And after that first dart, I think he'll be disappointed if he doesn't get a second treble.
137.
Once again, he just has a real art in being able to pull in that big numbers on the first three darts.
100. 125.
Yeah, it's a little bit jabby, that throw. That was better on the second one. The second
81.
and third looked okay. That first one was a real jab. Just watch the last dart. The first two replicate each other, and then he really puts his body into the last one.
137.
Snaps their hand in. Just beginning to write off Northie here.
79. Patrick O'Carr,
Minimum about
102.
6 darts and 102. He continues to surprise.
North is in big trouble here. He is looking quite healthy in the table still, so it's not an all or nothing here for Richard North.
66.
And he'd be delighted to leave double 18. That's been his go-to double, Patrick. He's looked comfortable on that one. Northie, this is typical of darts where you'd usually save your best score.
83. Patrick O'Carr, 36.
It's all in the hands of the Dutchman. Northie wore orange today just to get into the mind of these Dutchies. But it's Patrick van den Bogart who's got a big chance here.
Richard Ducar,
We've seen him struggle
158.
on this double nine throughout the week. And he's not going to feel too great about having to come back for that one if Richard North does miss the 158. Potential split option here. I don't think he's going. I think he's going to go straight for it.
42.
I would argue the split here.
Yeah, it's a sign of confidence when you can go for the big two. I just think with it being first game of the night, I think he'll go direct. He's got to go very direct. That's not a bad dart in the sense that he can now open up. This is where he wants to be. This is a double that players like.
10. Richard Ducar, 116.
When the finishing line's in sight, you start to get a bit tight. Redoing the entire process all over again. But the focus is on Richard North. He only needs one treble to get a poke at the double. He finds it. It's tops for a second tumpless finish of the match.
Game shot on the
Richard
fifth
North.
flag. Richard
Give
North.
him a shot and he'll take it. He is punishing the mistakes of Patrick van den Bogart. It's not like he's carving out his own opportunities. That one you felt was gone a long time ago.
6 flag Richard to throw first.
But he's
Game
got
on.
the quality to start to reel this back. He's the sort of player that you keep alive and they will punish you.
180.
135 finish, a 116 finish. That suddenly breeds confidence. Scoring boots have just not been in place. And all of a sudden, that's his third maximum in this game. He's been nowhere near his best. But the numbers are on his
100.
side right now. He has the momentum. If you can take it a 3-3, you have to feel that Richard North becomes favourite, and that would be a devastating loss.
100.
Could you imagine? He hits a nine darter.
You're reading my mind.
Hits a nine darter, turns around and goes, "That's 10, lads."
We'd have to believe him then, wouldn't
58.
Did see a
43.
nine darter last week, didn't we? Jonathan Worsley in the practice darts.
I heard it in Middlesbrough. That was some raw.
134.
Just lacks killer instinct, does Patrick. This game should be done and dusted. He knows that. And Richard North is just feeding off it.
138.
We're beginning to see the best of him. 12 darts and leaves him tops.
$140. Richard Ducar, 40.
Now we go on the distance in our first game.
Game shot on the 6 flag. Richard North.
Fantastic finishing again from Richard North. And the average is shooting up for Richard North now. He's a long, long way off, but that's a 13 darter. He might need something like that here against the throw.
7th and final
Or
leg. Patrick to
is the
throw
story going to
first. Game
continue
on.
with Patrick van den Bogart struggling to find the finishers? 18% at the moment for Patrick. And it's that old problem at the start of the week, once again rearing its head.
58.
Yeah, we've had some fantastic comebacks this week, some monster finishing. And that 135 finish from Richard North was the real
58.
catalyst. You feel he's done the hard work, and for Patrick, you would feel this is going to be a tough last leg, but usually he finds something.
100.
He'll know if he needs 2 trebles now. There's the one.
140.
He now becomes favourite for this match, you feel. Everything seems to be going against Patrick, but he's his own worst enemy. Boy, that's a beautiful first start. He'd be disappointed with that.
He's had plenty of match
85.
starts, and we warned it at the time. You keep someone like Richard North alive, they can come back and punish you. He'll start down on the 19s here. 7 19s required to leave a finish. A finish that we have seen hit so many times
133.
already this week. The only difference is if Richard North hits it, we'll probably hear it more than we did the other 5 occasions.
Would there be any recovery at all for Patrick van den Bogart if he loses this game?
94. Richard Ducar, 170.
He'll feel he's got 6 darts at this. He just the little flick to the scoreboard to see where Patrick was.
58.
But that's a
Plazier
slit.
car 164.
Forces him into another 3-dart combination.
Well, where Richard's been finishing, he will fancy his chances on the 1-1-2. At last, some pressure.
92. Richard car 112.
Down to the wire. Just checks the time.
Is it Northy time?
72. Plazier car 72.
You could even argue that this is to have 1 foot into Saturday night, to put you on 8 points. And just what it does for you for the game. Been pretty poor on his doubling. He's not down to a W just yet. He needs to do the hard work. Treble 16. Another one of them. And another match dart.
52. Richard car 40.
And that is way south. Are we now going way north?
$30. Plazier car 20.
At 3-0 down, you probably never expected to have darts at a double. There was nowhere near.
A nervy, tense opener. Both realise the importance of the 2 points here. And it's still not over. He considered going 2-4-4 there. He has to be direct.
$15. Richard car 10.
Who wants it? Or do they want it too much?
I noticed he was just beginning to hold his arm and his shoulder late last night. His 5 days of playing, and he hasn't been playing competitive as Patrick van der Bohade. Richard North has really got away
No
with
score.
one, or has he?
Plazier car 5.
That's a little bit naughty, throwing the darts afterwards. That's an absolute no-no in the game of darts, but that is just frustration at its best. The game has had absolutely everything,
shot
but
of
in
the
the
match,
end, it's
Patrick van den
Patrick
Bogart.
van der Bohade who gets over the line in a game that won't be remembered, but it's a 2 massive points for Patrick. For Richard North, he had all the confidence in the world going into that game, and that will be a huge disappointment to him. A tale of missed opportunities, but it's Patrick van der Bohade who moves on to 8 points. Next up, it's a big game. Gary Stone versus Wesley Plazier.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Before the break, Patrick van der Buhade won a seesaw battle against Richard North by 4 legs to 3. The Dutchman racing into a 3-0 lead before North with 2 ton-plus checkouts took us all the way to a decider where Patrick picked up the points. Right, next up, our big game in the middle portion of the table as Gary Stone takes on Wesley Plazier. Watching this one in the commentary box is Glenn Durham, Matthew Edgar.
Thank you very much, Henry. Yeah, it was a bit of a tight affair, let's just say. Let's be fair to the two players because Patrick van der Buhade has now gone to 8 points and you feel he's only a game away from securing his place on Saturday night. These are two of the big hitters. These are the two players who I expected to get through. But there's no guarantee that's going to happen. But Gary Stone did get his campaign up and running very late on last night with victory over Wesley Plazier. It was 4-1.
Game
fairly
on.
Dominant. But everything sort of went wrong for him last night. But he looked fresh and ready to do the business tonight. He probably feels he has to win all 4 games.
180!
That's the Gary Stone we expected last night. It all sort of went wrong, Matt, in leg 1 of his opening game, where he'd missed tops, 10s and 5s and never really recovered.
100.
You'll also notice Gary Stone wearing the orange tonight.
140.
Joining Richard North in the idea of if you can't beat them, join them. It didn't work for Richard North. They said that the pair of them just couldn't beat the Dutchies last night.
119.
Yeah, Wesley Plazier came with this reputation. Hasn't been how he expected it to go.
145.
Well, that 145 leaves Gary Stone double 18 for a 10-darter.
140. Gary O'Connor,
These are the
36.
types of darts why he was favourite to win the week.
Game shot on the first leg. Gary
is
Stone.
absolutely superb. And what a start to the night for Gary Stone.
That's the best leg of the week, by far.
Second leg, Wesley to through
I
first.
said
Game
earlier on when I was up chatting with Henry Deacon, I feel Gary Stone's going to play a big part in this tonight. He did the minimum requirement yesterday.
140.
He got that win, got 2 points on the board and just gave himself a realistic chance. And if you thought that 10-darter was a one-off, here he goes again.
I think Wesley Plazier was really impressed with that behind. His 140 being dwarfed by that 180. There might be something.
$140.
I know I'm going to get told off for doing this, but why not? Some decent averages.
125.
If I get told off, I'll get told off. And this is maybe what Wesley needed.
101.
He's up against someone absolutely inspired at the moment. And I tell you, whoa.
100.
And he's actually
Wesley
disappointed with a ton.
120.
He might lose the leg. That is a lovely dart to find the treble. Tops.
Game shot on
What
the
are we
second leg.
watching
Wesley
here?
Plazier.
This is absolutely brilliant. Straight out the top draw. A 10-dart holder throw for Gary Stone. There's
Gary
nothing you
to
can
throw
do about
first.
that.
Game on.
And then a 12-dart holder throw for Wesley Plazier. And it's not stopping.
97.
He could have got a 140 then. His average would have gone down. This is brilliant. And this is what we've been waiting for Wesley.
100.
Yes, that little rotation of the body at the beginning. When he gets his timing right,
96.
you can see why he's the world master. Just at times didn't look like he was motivated for the challenge, Matt. I don't know how you've read the week for him.
Well, I'm reading here that they don't just feed off
58.
each other. When someone tends to play this well, just sort of clips it along, carries it along. I'm wondering if the organisers would be able to extend the format of this
100.
one, because I think I'd like to see them go for an hour's worth of darts, never mind 10 minutes.
Yes, they've stopped the game at the World Match Play to watch this.
60. 100.
Wesley needs a max. That's how good this game's been. He only got the 1 yesterday. He needs to find his
100.
scoring boot if he's going to live with Gary
108.
Stone in this form. For a measly
Game
15
shot of the
darter.
third leg. Gary Stone.
Absolutely rubbish, Gary Stone. Must do better.
Now you can press it. Now we can have a look.
Fourth leg Wesley to
Both
through
players
first. Game on.
well over the 100 average mark. Both of them. Yeah, Tumplus checkout. This is inspiring.
180.
113 average, and we've just watched a game there where a player wins with a 79.
53.
The loser of this game will be absolutely kicking themselves.
This feels like two boxers that have said, let's just meet in the centre of the ring. We're not going to put our hands up. We're not going to
84.
put the gloves up. We're not going to block anything. We're just going to stand there and swing punches at each other till one of us can't take it no more.
140.
Starting to think of records.
140.
At the moment, could be a record winning average and a record losing average, all rolled into the same match.
134. Wesley Car 97.
Well, looking for a hefty performance from Wesley's got double 12.
73.
These guys are human. First missed dart a double. And you can't miss again because Gary Stone is right behind you.
134. Wesley Car 24.
One of the classic matches here at the MODUS Super Series. We're at the
Game shot
halfway
on the
stage
fourth
now.
leg.
It's
Wesley
2-2 and it's
Plazier.
been an absolute dream to watch. Both players playing their A+ game. What does Gary Stone have to do to win a game, he's thinking? 121
If
average.
Gary to throw first.
And
Game
still
on.
only 2-2.
Well, with averages like that, one thing's for
57.
sure, you're not going to get chances to break the throw. Winning legs so far, 10, 12, 15, 13.
140.
This is staggering, just a joy to watch.
140.
It's a colossal performance from both players. Quite simply, outstanding.
96.
Neither are wavering right now.
You ask the question, who's going to stand up? Who's going to be countered? Who's going to make the most?
139.
And I'm not a fan of that. That's a bad switch from Gary Stone.
The first two darts looked absolutely perfect as well.
58.
Advantage Stone.
$95.
Down again to a 15 darter or less. But so's Wesley Plazier.
171. Got to look at 70.
Absolutely stunning.
Two darter tops. You can't enjoy this.
50.
Is that the
Wesley
first
Car,
mistake
36.
as Wesley Plazier's setup of a 171 put enough pressure on Gary Stone? The focus is there. Can he find it with the execution of double 18? It's double 9.
18. Gary Car 20.
What happens a game of darts? Someone misses a double. That's exactly the same. I don't expect Gary to miss from here. This is nasty now, though.
16.
I don't think Gary would have expected
Wesley
to have come
Car,
back to the
18.
board when Plazier came up. Looking at the double 18.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Wesley
Nasty double
Plazier.
9 goes in. It's been a great game, but forget records now. Those missed darts at a double there.
Gary's angry. He knows he had the opportunity
Sixth
there.
leg. Wesley to throw first. Game on.
5 darts. He's still averaging 110.86. But Wesley is absolutely
140.
relentless.
The game of the week, the game of the month.
Game of the series.
60.
This is what we've been waiting for with Wesley Plazier. For
140.
the first time tonight, didn't really talk about him as much. I think he's come with a real purpose. Maybe the fact
100.
he sees his friend very likely going to be there on Saturday night. Probably needs just one more win to secure with that. But something's inspired him as Gary still threw
134.
absolutely everything at him. And he said, I'll see you and I'll raise you.
Plazier opened the night 100 to 30.
180. Wesley got
It might look
87.
like massive value the way this is going.
And out of respect, oh, interesting.
55.
Out of respect, I'll
Gary
say we'll go 20 bullseye,
161.
but he's laid up. And Gary Stone will be thinking, if that's the way you want to play it. Yeah, that's what he's saying to himself. I'll prove you wrong, Wesley. It's not going to happen.
91. Wesley Carr 32.
Double 16 with the big stuff. It was
Game
an
shot on the match. Wesley
absolute
Plazier.
slugfest. One of the great games of the MODUS Super Series. An outstanding 4-2 victory for Wesley Plazier. That was the moment he came to the fore. He was superb. Just look at those numbers. Where do you start with that? 110 losing average. Fantastic checkout ratio for Wesley Plazier. Absolutely brilliant. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Does that make Wesley Plazier a player for Saturday night? He's right back in the mix, and it's Richard North who's got to follow that against his good friend Mike Gillett.
And a very warm welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. And what a game we saw before the break. Wesley Plazier, a 4-2 victor against Gary Stone. Gary Stone losing with an average of 110.37, hitting 3 maximums in the process. But it's Plazier who got the points in the end, a 4-2 victor. Right, next up for us is a first game of the night for Mike Gillett. He's in action up against Richard North. Watching this one in the commentary box is Glenn Durham and Matthew Edgar.
Thank you so much, Henry. Wow, what a game that was. That was pretty special to watch for Wesley Plazier. We've been waiting for that moment from him. But you have to feel for Gary Stone. He sort of could hear him come back to the players there saying, what do I have to do? The guy in your picture there done a spectacular comeback against Gary Stone yesterday. And now he's just walked into a real sucker punch from Wesley Plazier. It all changed with them missed darts at the double in the 5th leg. But how do you follow that, Richard North? Slight change in the darts, I think, is his answer to that.
60.
Looks like a complete overhaul. He's gone back to the darts that he was playing with last night. I did say during that first game, don't be surprised to see the equipment change. And that set just wasn't really working, I don't believe.
95.
I also think that's a smoother throw from Mike Gillett. I thought he was overstretching a little bit yesterday. He didn't look.
100. $44.
Yeah, we're just looking at that stat
64.
from the previous game. Like I said, the most difficult thing for these two is to try and follow that. But sort of averages
57.
don't happen every day, so you've just got to play your own game. I can just hear them next door just sort of chatting about the game. I think Gary's sort of calmed down a little bit to walk off from a 110 average with a defeat. But I can hear them talking away there.
85.
Just double check the scores. Again, 2 good friends playing here. You feel for Mike Gillett, if he doesn't win this game, it could be a really tough night. It does look a lot better, that throw. It's not really demonstrating with the early
100.
scores. It's a fairly slow start. And for Richard North, he'll want to just change up a couple of gears right now. These are the darts that he used last night. It looks like it's 120. It is. So 72 left, treble 16 maybe.
136.
I'm looking favourite for this leg.
It was Gary Stone who ran into
60.
that
Richard O'Connell, 56.
113.46 when
36.
Mike
Michael
Gillett
Carr, 145.
ran 4 legs off, and then he's ran into another one from Wesley Plazier.
Oh, this is interesting.
125.
Some fantastic finishing
Richard
this
O'Connell,
week.
20.
Absolutely superb. And I thought that was going to be a real game changer there for Gillett.
$15. Michael Carr, 20.
That's the story of the end of the last game for Richard North as well.
Put yourself in the shoes of Gary Stone now. How is he feeling watching this? I mean, it's unlikely Gary's going to qualify now. That's what he'll be feeling. He'll get to a stage, even if he wins the remainder of his games, he's going to rely
10.
on
Richard
the
O'Connell,
results
5.
going the way.
Game shot on the first leg. Richard North.
It was all very much hard work. Again, it's never easy. They've probably travelled together like they did last night. But for Mike Gillett, it's just
Second leg, Mike,
and
you
the
threw first.
dartboard
Game
right
on.
now. For North, he just feels he's not at the races right now. He'll have to find his 1-0 up. And from absolutely nowhere,
180.
Mike Gillett is finally up and running.
Gary Stone's average across his 5 matches that he's played so
81.
far is 93.37. He has 2 points. that is hard to make sense of when we're looking at a group.
123.
His average. Timing, I suppose, is everything, because the critics
100.
would say, well, Gary Stone had 5 darts to go 3-2 up.
Yeah, that's what'll frustrate him. I mean, he had opportunities there. I mean,
41.
you don't have 110 average if you're not getting opportunities, but he's watching players here now averaging the 70s. And I think that'll be hurting more than the missed darts at a double.
100. Michael Carr,
How many
157.
times did that used to happen in the days of self-marked boards, where you'd lose in a good game, then stand marking a game for the same player who would play nowhere near the standard?
Yeah, I used to mark games because I was
99.
seeded, thinking I played the winner of this game in an hour or so, and you think, well, I'm delighted with that because they were rubbish. And you play them an hour later and they smash it off the board.
140. Michael Carr, 58.
All games are different, and Gillett has to start right now. He's a fighter.
48.
Just doesn't
Richard
seem to be
Dukar,
happening
80.
for him right now. He is detached on that 2 points. He does need a win here. North is getting chance after chance.
Game shot on the second leg. Richard North.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? You can't buy a double, and then when you get 2, I mean, you could have put another 6 darts in that double top there, and I think that's what he's saying to himself there.
Third leg, Richard to throw first. Game on.
Sometimes you've just got to get to a final. Hook hard by crook. Win ugly, as they say in darts.
58.
It's holiday season now for Mike Gillett. Or should we say
100.
Mr. Gillett, a school teacher by trade. It was the last day of term today. He's off for the 6-week hollybobs.
134.
Yeah, there's the angle. It's got a unique, just because of the style of the dart, the barrel, and the way he holds his dart as well.
140.
And all that means is you can really flat dart, just bordering on understacking each time.
42.
And the way Northie holds the dart, lots of finger being used in it. And they're going in some real funny angles.
135.
Try and force this one around. Now he can go downstairs to the open target. I like the fact he went back to his original locking position as well.
Michael Carr, 126.
It's a set-up shot here for
54.
Mike Gillett. But Richard North could put a lot of, well, I wouldn't say urgency, I'd say pressure in this situation, because Mike Gillett is only on the 2 points. And you could have 2 players starting to get
68.
detached.
Michael Carr, 72. $66. Richard Dukar, 140.
Well, it's typical of Northie. A 135 and a 116 in the previous game. When he was never in legs, he'd be disappointed with that first dart, but he's laid up.
100. Michael
He'll
Carr,
be
6.
pleasantly surprised when he looks at the fact that Mike Gillett's less double 3. Because this is not a very nice place to be, especially when you're searching for the first leg of the night. But he
Game
gets
shot on
there
the third
right
leg. Mike
bang
Gillett.
in the middle. Mike Gillett is topping most of the numbers, the statistics, but the most important one is the fact that Northie is leading 2-1. You might hear the sigh from the players
Fourth leg, Mike
area
to throw first. Game on.
as we look at the averages there.
$87.
There is a very strong case to be said that if Mike Gillett can't turn this around against Richard North, his
43.
next game against Gary Stone is a lose and you're gone.
Absolutely. I mean, Gary Stone, on the positive, must be thinking he can win the
100.
next 3 games, which puts him on 8 points. Will that be enough? Because you've got 2 players on 8 points potentially if North wins this game here already.
138.
legs could come into play. And when you're playing like Gary Stone is, you're putting in those big averages, he could get some legs on the board very quickly.
180.
The inconsistent Gillett at the moment, like I said, at times he's dominating this match. But still finds himself 2-1 down. An awful lot of pace in them 3 darts there from Northie. I wonder if he realised that's the rhythm that really suits him. 74 left. That's 47 I work on, but maybe I've got it wrong. It's 47, yes. So an option of a 7 or a 15. And sometimes you walk to the hockey and change your mind. It's where you have to have your go-to double.
102.
Go-to was double 16 for Mike.
Took him to 12 darts to leave it as well. Sign of a good scoring leg there for Mike Gillett.
140.
He's going to be under the severity of pressure. Northie checking the scoreboards, reading the situation. They've both done the same thing. They've left their favourite double after 12.
16.
Gillett not able to convert Richard
40.
North. How do you feel?
Is it fair to say that Northie's leading a charmed life right now? Nobody wants to take the chances, but he's not capitalising.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Richard North.
Somehow, Richard North is leading this game 3-1, but once again, it's not pretty.
Fifth leg, Richard to throw first. Game on.
Break a throw there as well from Mike Gillett.
100. $77.
That dart was sat ideal there for Richard North. Just sat at the right angle,
121.
plenty of space to the side. Wasn't able to use it. Covered well. Mike Gillett
96.
starting to lose touch with this one. Again, perfect first start from Richard North.
100.
That's his third.
If you're starting to lose touch in a leg, the easiest way to get yourself
45.
back into it.
Michael Carr, 148.
Smacking in a big 180. Needs to find a treble.
100.
Great
Michael
last
Carr,
start.
135.
But look what Northie's left. This was the turning point in his first game. Not this time.
$87. Michael Carr, 48.
This time it's tops.
28.
Strange decision because
Richard
he hit
Carr,
16s
48.
last time. Maybe he was just aiming for the middle of the bed. And Richard North, you just feel he's led a charmed life in this game. Been second best. Does he know where the double is? He certainly does, and that's for the match. It's 4-1 to Northie against Mike Gillett. He'll be really disappointed with his performance in the end there. 3-180s for Mike Gillett in that game. Just a little bit inconsistent. 1 from 14 for Mike Gillett on the outer ring. That was the turning point. Richard North took his chances and takes a big 2 points. And next up is the also impressive Wesley Plazier against top of the table, Patrick van den Boharde. And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. What an interesting start today. We've seen something very, very special. That middle game there, Gary Stone 2, Wesley Plazier 4. It was absolutely breathtaking, with Wesley Plazier averaging over 105, with Gary Stone with a losing average of 110. Richard North just seemed to mop up the mistakes of Mike Gillett in the previous game, and he's now gone top of the table alongside Patrick van der Bohaar, who has an excellent opportunity now to secure his place in Saturday night. But for Wesley Plazier, he looks like the form horse. However, they have played each other 4 times already this week, and it's Patrick that's come out on top 3 times. You just feel there's just something a little bit special about Wesley Plazier tonight, but can he follow it up? I'm joined by my co-commentator, Matt Edgar. How do you read this one?
I sometimes find it tricky to follow a performance like Wesley Plazier's just had, because everything feels like a downgrade. It was so perfect, such a polished performance, 105.83, and that included 5 missed starts at a double as well.
First like Wesley to through first. Game on.
Really impressive performance. A lot of this, I think, lies on the first 6 starts. If it continues in the first 6, I think he carries on as a continuum
96.
from that first game. I think if it doesn't quite go, I think we're going to see him return back to normal. But back to normal still a very high standard. He is the reigning World Masters champion.
140.
And he's up against a good friend here, who could be the first guy to confirm his place from this Group B, if he was able to beat the big stuff.
Yeah, Patrick seems to enjoy playing Wesley Plazier. Like
58.
I said, the opening game of Monday, which seems a long, long time ago, Wesley really gave Patrick a good pasting, but since then, Patrick's got much the better between the pair. Like I said, maybe Wesley's
95.
not enjoying the fact he's playing his good friend, but I'm sure they've played each other many times, whether in practice or in training. But you feel Wesley just wants to get onto that
57. Wesley Carr
8-point mark as well,
170.
alongside his good friend for their assault tomorrow night.
58.
It's a decent start from Wesley. He's going to be first to a double. Or first to a finish at least.
$76. Wesley Carr 112. $42. Patrick Carr 170.
Is Patrick going to join the party of the big fish? Can he reel it in? Well, he is a first start merchant, and usually the second follows.
129. Wesley Carr
Nice man.
70.
I think he really, really fancied that. And Wesley's going to get a dart at a double. But it's just a hold to throw, so there's a lot of importance on this double 16.
Game shot on the first leg. Wesley
That
Plazier.
was plumb bang in the middle. We're beginning to see the reason why he come to the MODUS Super Series with such a big reputation. He's flattered to deceive at times, even bordering
Second leg
on being a
Patrick to
little bit
third first.
disappointing.
Game on.
But you can just see all of a sudden that little self-motivation, which he's looked a little bit laboured this week.
81.
Now we're beginning to see the best of him.
Well, it could be the right time, because it's an opportunity here to get himself to 8 points. That'll put
140.
3 players on 8 points. Mike Gillett comes up next against Gary Stone in a match where the loser would be out. But the only way they could put themselves into that top 3 is leg difference.
140.
And to do that, they're going to need results to go their own way. It's be a big, big ask for that top 3 to be any different if Wesley Plazier
93.
can convert this into a victory.
So as you could see by the in-play table there, if Wesley can get a win in this match, he'll go straight to the top.
59.
Maybe that was the value bet going into it. Finding the treble 20 with
120.
regularity. so used to seeing very, very quick Dutch
45.
players.
Wesley Car
Maybe Ron
148.
Meulenkamp goes against the grain. And like I said, Patrick van Bohada also takes his time. Double 14 for another beauty.
134.
Patrick, no finish. But he did throw first. He's in big trouble of getting broken here. It could be a sizable victory here for Plazier.
100.
Complete
Wesley
control
Car
of this
14.
match.
It's a bit nasty, double 7. And that's why he's set it up. He's laid it up. He'll feel confident. On the
10.
different doubles, then you think,
Patrick
why didn't I just go for it?
76.
Because these are the types of finishes where Patrick, with only one dart in his hand for a double, has been hitting regularly.
And to play, the players that have a little bit of pace about them tend to find the combination shots
36.
easier.
Wesley Car 4.
than having 3 darts in the hand. But he didn't even get a dart with a double there, Patrick. He'll be very disappointed
Game
with
shot
that.
on the
and to
second leg.
lose
Wesley
his throw in
Plazier.
that style without really putting much in terms of resistance forward there. Wesley Plazier just cantering to the line.
Third leg Wesley to throw
That is
first.
bad
Game
news for Mike Gillett and Gary Stone, who'll be sat in the practice room right now, looking at that in-play
16.
league table, knowing they can only reach 8 points, knowing that the top 3 are already there.
on. 55.
It'll be disappointing not to see Gary Stone and Mike Gillett in Saturday night's final. 2 players expected to come through this group.
129.
Been a really topsy-turvy, up and down group, that's for sure. And really just that one spectacular moment.
59. $96.
Just going through the gears now, isn't he? Doesn't need to be spectacular in this match. Patrick will just be looking nervously at the next 2 games.
43.
He's got the weakest legs difference, and if Wesley does go on to run away with this one,
100.
just gives the tiniest opportunity for Gary Stone and Mike Gillett, you feel. And quite simply, the loser of that game is definitely out.
137. Wesley Car 116. Game shot on the
Absolute
third
quality.
leg. Wesley Plazier.
He's turned up tonight. He's definitely playing his B+ game here. We've already seen his A+ as well. Makes me
Fourth
think
leg
about
Patrick to
tomorrow
throw
night.
first. Game on.
He now comes into the equation as a real contender.
This is what you've been asking for from Wesley, isn't it? To stand up and show us that quality that he has
One out
shown
of
in
them
tournaments
40.
around the world.
Yeah, he's something for you, Matt. I mean, when you come here on a Monday, you do feel that Saturday's a long way away.
81.
You know, he's away from home. Many players do struggle to be away from home. Yes, he's got Patrick with him. Do you think now the fact he's beginning to see the end of the rainbow,
99.
is he going to start playing his best darts?
Well, I'm sure you've run many 10Ks and marathons in your life, Glenn, and you'll
85.
know what it's like. When you start off, you try to pace yourself, you try and settle into things, but when you get into that last K, that last mile, and you can see the finishing line, that's when you run a bit
92.
harder, that's when you push a bit more and dig a bit deeper. And we often say that this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, we have written off Patrick before, so
55.
beware.
Patrick Car 170.
He's looking good to take a leg here.
$96.
You feel just a max will do.
180.
He hasn't been that
Patrick
prolific.
O'Carr, 74.
On the 180s in this Group B campaign. Bullseye, just to get back into this game.
49.
It's not good
Wesley
enough.
O'Carr, 100.
Wesley Plazier has produced some staggeringly good darts, and all the positive moments have come from him.
60.
So
Wesley
not
O'Carr,
being too
25.
prolific. That's his third maximum of the group. He got 9 in his Group A campaign. Nowhere near the total of Patrick. It's about the legs, and he's making a mess of this at the back end once again. Lost a dart. Does he only need the one?
Game shot on the fourth leg. Patrick van den Bogart.
Nice recovery. Well, he's got a long way to go if he's going to pull this one back against
Fifth leg,
Wesley.
Wesley to throw first. Game on.
The averages don't often tell the tale, but in this one you feel that they do.
59.
Patrick clinging on by his fingertips.
That could be the first concern for Wesley. Just the 59. If Patrick can get one of his renowned 140 starts, you would think he's right back in this.
140.
Exactly what he does. It's putting the pressure on your opponent right at the beginning of the leg.
59.
Surely not another comeback of all comebacks.
Seen a few, haven't we? Mike Gillett against Gary
60.
Stone in this group. So a cracking one this morning with Jared Cole.
$96.
Just keeps him involved, but only 20 points in it. Wherever Patrick gets with the next two darts, he'll be in front.
96. $119.
Left the bogey, so 6 darts from 205. Set up play of the highest order.
139.
Nothing that Wesley can do about it.
Patrick would have gone into that feeling comfortable.
95. Patrick O'Carr, 66.
All of a sudden there's urgency. If this first dart doesn't go right, he'll only get the one. That's where sometimes these shots can seem simpler than they are. But again, going for the big number slips
54.
into the double. There's
Wesley
been a few
O'Carr,
sloppy
73.
loose darts here from Patrick. Wesley is the sort of man that will gobble up those chances and say, thank you very much.
It's only going to be the one dart. And it's his first match dart.
33. Patrick O'Carr, 12.
Taking his time. Getting further away. Rebuilding, starting again.
No score.
That might be the last
Wesley
start that he gets
O'Carr,
to throw in
40.
this match. Wesley Plazier tops to move himself onto 8 points.
Game shot in the match.
And on
Wesley
the night where we
Plazier.
said who's going to stand up and be counted, Wesley Plazier says, eyes and attention on me, boys. A 4-1 victory over his friend Patrick van den Bogart moves himself onto 8 points. We now have 3 players tied at the top on 8, and that is bad news for Gary Stone and Mike Gillett, who are coming up next, where the loser will be eliminated.
And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And it's been the Wesley Plazier show so far here in Group B. He's gone from a precarious position to now being top of the table and looking very, very good for Saturday night. This is a real bottom of the table clash, and the loser will be out. I didn't think I'd be saying that about these two great players who've been very, very successful at the MODUS Super Series. But the scenario is very, very simple. It's been a strange one for Gary Stone because he's averaging 93 for the competition and sits on only 2 points. His opponents are just raising their games. And the big turning point yesterday is when these two met, because Gary Stone was leading 3-0. And then Mike Gillett, the guy in your picture there, just went absolutely ballistic, averaging 113 for the next 4 legs to win. It was a staggering performance, and Gary Stone, you could hear him when he went back to the players area after the Wesley Plazier game, where he lost, where Gary Stone lost with 110 average, saying, what do I have to do to win a game? So mentally, he'll feel a little fragile, and it's not looking good for qualification. But the scenario's got to feel, Matt, is if he wins this game, and then he needs Mike Gillett to do a favour over Patrick van den Bogarde, and then Gary Stone quite simply has to beat Richard North and Patrick van den Bogarde at the end. So it's a tough ask, but it can still be done for either of these two players.
You'd rather have a chance than no chance, and that's what the winner will have, while the loser will be eliminated. But Gary Stone, with everything that's gone on with him and the way it's happened and the performance he's put in, just feel like seeing those first 2 darts go into treble 20
121
isn't going to cheer him up anymore.
Was it a case of deja vu? Was Mike Gillett's first 3 darts there of 136?
58.
He will feel that everybody is raising their game against him. He'll be feeling the world's against him.
134.
All you can do in this scenario is a very similar, Matt, to the Grand Slam of darts, where sometimes you're relying on winning yourself and then relying on others to do 45. You a favour. So, like you've just rightly said, while you're still in it, you can still win it.
I
140.
suppose the only thing you don't want is when you get eliminated to get a big cuddle from the person who knocks you out.
Yes, I noticed Chris Dobie put that back on again yesterday.
95. Gary O'Carr, 106.
The gilding hug. Tops for Gary.
66. Mike O'Carr, 167.
Now, if Gary's theory is right, this goes.
$83. Gary O'Carr, 40. Game shot on the first leg. Gary Stone.
Solid once again for Gary Stone. Like I said, all he can do is focus on the job. Even when he doesn't look very good.
Second leg, Gary to third first.
14 data, which equates to 107.36. He's the guy that's putting all the numbers out.
180.
Raised eyebrows from the comms box as well. It's just a bizarre group where the best player is in 4th place.
67.
The way he's playing, you feel he's going to do something special. He's already done a 10 darter. Could he go all the way and give us the 9?
57.
Following the footsteps of Conor Heenahan. We're going to be wary. One, because of what Mike Gillett did to him
137.
just 24 hours ago. Also because he will feel. He will use the word unlucky,
46.
I'm sure.
Never write off this man. Last time he won his week, he finished 3rd in Group B.
140.
Came through on Saturday night. There was a great crowd there that night, and I remember when he hit the winning double A, just stood and looked for the dartboard. Probably felt like
60.
a couple of minutes, but it was literally
Microcar
5 seconds.
157.
He's a genuinely nice guy. So softly spoken. Speaks very, very well.
40. Gary
There's that
O'Carr
real desire when he
158.
gets on the hockey. He reminded me we played each other of England versus Wales. But my memory these days, that's passed me by.
92.
The only game I
Microcar
remember England Wales is
117.
smashing Jim Williams in Merthyr Tydfil. Now,
77.
Gary Stone, as
Gary
a
O'Carr
proud Scotsman,
66.
said he never finishes on 66 because something very important happened in 1966. So he always said, I'm never going to hit it.
48. Michael Carr 40. Game shot on the second leg. Mike Gillett.
Strange old game. It's 1-1, no eye contact
Third
this
leg
time.
Mike to throw first. Game on.
Gary just sinking into that here we go again feeling. It's a shame when you're up there and you're fighting with yourself.
45. $139. $137.
There'll be concerns for Gary Stone as Mike Gillett just beginning to find his scoring boots.
60.
Yeah, and there's that wry smile. You just feel like everything's against him. Just a sign of how well Gary Stone is playing. I was really looking forward to
118.
seeing him. Didn't expect this when you got the 3 from 5 scenario here. My Marco commentator, some sort of
140.
sneezing fit next to me here. Are you okay? Really like that
130.
last dart from Mike Gillett. Even the 25 would have left a 2-dart finish, and Gary Stone's on a bogey. All he can do is lay it up.
122.
Very
Michael
proficiently.
Carr 71.
So treble 13 or treble 17 of the options. He's got a dart at tops for 2-1. An unlikely
31.
2-1 you felt.
Gary O'Carr 40.
But when people have had chances against Gary Stone, they've usually taken them. Well, Gary's hit this double top already in this game.
Game shot on the third leg.
He's
Gary
back in
Stone.
that bed. He's just got to keep believing. He's actually playing very, very nicely. There is times in the game of darts where you can say you've been a little bit unlucky. You've been the better
Bogart
player
to
and
roll
lost.
first. Game on.
But never stop believing.
I think I know how Gary Stone was feeling there, because I
40.
just wanted that to stop. And that's probably how he's been feeling tonight. When people just keep hitting against him, he'll be thinking, please make this stop.
96.
A bit of fortune there, someone missing a chance against him. It's not happened much.
96.
He's still got a big mountain to climb. Even if he is to get through this match as the victor, he's going to need one of the top 3 to lose heavy somewhere.
140.
Yeah, I think it'd be identifying Richard North and Patrick to lose both of their next 2 games. It's unlikely. And the pace just ramps up a little.
125.
And Gary Stone's playing really well. I noticed that yesterday. We just started watching them practice maybe an hour before the games were starting. And if I said Gary Stone's
95.
lowest score for 5 minutes was 140. And he was playing at a real fast pace, maybe just a second quicker than he is now.
100. Michael Carr
If he dissects
170.
in this game and looks into how he's played the past 2 days, if he's not too hard on himself, he'll realise there's an awful lot
60.
of positives.
Gary O'Carr 140.
He's at Lakeside this year. He's got to be someone who can do some damage.
The Looking like a good event, that one. Both these will be there.
Michael
Gillett also
110.
qualified. Will be fulfilling a bit of a dream of his, an ambition that he set himself. His tops.
Game shot on the
Gets
fourth
the throw
leg. Mike
straight
Gillett.
back, and this is where you want to stop the game and send Henry Deacon on with a microphone and say to Gary Stone, how do you feel right now, Gary?
Fifth leg, Mike, you through first. Game on.
.93.5 was the running average for Gary Stone coming into this game.
180.
He's averaging 97 in this one, so he's going to be running average of about 94 across all of his group action so far. And at the moment,
100.
there's a strong possibility that he could end bottom of the table.
Why are everyone playing so well against him?
58.
Sometimes the pace of the player suits, or maybe he's just
60.
not commanding. Maybe he doesn't have a presence and aura about him. Some players have a bit of an aura about them. You say that about Steve Brown. He used to always just ooze confidence. Even when he didn't feel
99.
it, you just thought he was a very confident man. Maybe Gary Stone is just giving out a few vibes of fragility that people are just
97.
gobbling
Michael
up.
164.
Treble 16 or treble 20, the options.
124. 140. Michael Carr 40.
Mike Gillett will be saying, can I play you every week? Because his two best games by a long stretch have been against Gary Stone. It's a good marker.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Mike
Just
Gillett.
about to say, Gary Stone's had zero luck. Is this the time when an opponent finally misses a double against him? Then the final dart goes in.
Sixth leg, Gary to through first. Game on.
Gary's still averaging just shy of 98. Gary's still losing this game.
57.
Mike Gillett will fancy his chances now. This is a real moment. This is a real chance.
100.
And the way the fixtures work, this is the perfect thing here for Mike Gillett, because his next game would be against Patrick van den Bogaard, who has actually got a leg difference
99.
that is the most catchable of the players in the top three. He's only on +1. If Gillett was to get the victory here, then that Patrick van den Bogaard
78.
game becomes huge, because he'll be taking legs off of Patrick whilst putting them on his own score as well. Completely flip-flop that around and really
60.
put himself back into the contention.
I know that Gary Stone was very optimistic when he come to Portsmouth this week.
140.
You highlighted, Matt, is what he's been doing in the ADC games, even local competitions. Just sort of dominating in a very tough area where he's
85.
playing darts. Some great players he's playing against. And I think he really fancied the job this week, and this is not how he was meant to go. If he
57.
can just get through this game, I can still see a path of qualification for him. Probably a path that he doesn't see right now. Is that path just being opened up for Mike Gillett?
60.
Because if Mike gets
Michael
through the
Carr,
game, his
126.
next game against Patrick van den Bogaard is massive. Big favourite now. It's bull for the match.
Game
What
shot
an
on the match. Mike
unbelievable
Gillett.
finish. Gary Stone, what do you have to do? Even I'm feeling sorry for you a little bit. For Mike Gillett, will be thinking, can I play you every week? Just another masterclass of finishing there. Gary Stone, another very good average of 93.24. But just look at the stats of Mike Gillett there. 4 from 9 on the checkout. And just that lovely, sublime 1-2-6 finish to win at the end. It's Mike Gillett who just gives himself opportunities in this competition. And next up, it's Richard North against the also-good Wesley Plazier.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we are halfway through the evening's action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. It's time to get the halftime analysis of Duzzer himself, Glenn Dummett. Well, let's have a look and see what we've seen so far tonight. These are the 5 games in play. Interestingly enough, 4 of the 5 going with throw, and, well, it looks as if things are getting much clearer.
Yeah, an absolute masterclass so far from Wesley Plazier. We've waited for him to really provide his best. And that game, that second game there against Gary Stone will absolutely live in the memory. Gary Stone losing with 110 average, Wesley winning with 105 average. But once again, the story has to be Gary Stone losing against Mike Gillett there. Everybody is raising the game against him. He must think the world is against him.
In the history of this competition, only by a man with an average of 111 has averaged more and then lost a game in this competition. Such was the stratospheric heights that he managed to get to. So those are the results. This is what it means in terms of the league table. Wesley Plazier, Richard North and Patrick van der Buhade, a three-way tie at the top of the table. And, well, what we can confirm is Gary Stone is out of the running now.
Yeah, and that's really sad for the competition because you can see Gary Stone's in good form there. It's a bizarre sequences of events, really. Like I said, people are just playing so well against him. What it means is that Mike Gillett is looking at overtaking Patrick or Richard North. So the game coming up next is a really big one for Richard and Wesley because the winner goes through guaranteed.
Exactly. They mean they can get their place back here tomorrow night at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, the 4th of 6 names to be confirmed. Right, so that is what we've seen this week. Now, next week's the final week of qualifications. Amazing to think we've got to that point of the process already. Just one more week to determine the Champions Week field. And these are the players that we are going to see next week. Well, Conor Heenahan, the 9 dart man, the only man to have hit a 9 under this roof, is going to be a part of the Group A action. Martin Adams is going to make a return to proceedings. And then Group B, littered with 2 stars of the Seniors Tour, Robert Thornton and Mark McGeaney. And Reece Colley, interesting name in Group C because he's had a fairly decent 2023.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Reece Colley, but you know, my eyes go to Robert Thornton. Conor Heenahan has just been an absolute superstar in this competition. But like I say, you'd always look for the name of Martin Adams as well. I think it's a tough one for Martin to be in Group A. I always think it's, you know, it's a long, old week in that one. And yeah, the name that stands out for me there is Robert Thornton. I really like Dan Reed as well. So it looks like another competitive week.
And it'll be the final week of qualification before Champions Week commences at the end of July. So we are midway through our action here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. So Game 6 sees Richard North against Wesley Plazier. The winner qualifies their place through to tomorrow evening's final. Glenn Dunt's going to make his way down to the commentary box to describe all of the action in the company of Matthew Edgar. Hello again, Matt.
As Henry has just alluded to, the winner is through. We are now entering our 7th lap of fixtures. 8 points on the board for both of these players. Only Mike Gillett can disturb the party at the top.
Game on.
And for that to happen, there's going to have to be a serious turnaround in legs. Mike Gillett currently sat on -6, which means there's going to need to be some heavy defeats and some heavy
100.
victories along the way. But whenever there is possibility, there is hope. Wesley Plazier has been eliminating hope for a
60.
lot of people here tonight. Been playing some incredible darts. A Super Series classic with Gary Stone earlier on today, and he
60.
represents value in this match. The odds didn't move to represent the performances of Wesley Plazier and the
85.
inconsistency of Richard North, who we've already seen darts change tonight. He started with a completely different set before switching back to the set that he used
41.
last night. And odds available of even money on Wesley Plazier to win this match, I think represents massive value on the way that
100.
both players have played tonight. Richard North averaged 81 and 84. Plazier 105 and 88. And it's
81.
just the way it feels for Richard North. It feels like effort. For Wesley Plazier, it feels like it's where he should be.
Yeah, Wesley Plazier
44.
must realise that the job isn't done yet. He can put himself into Saturday night and really go and enjoy his final game against Mike Gillett. But yeah, that's surprising odds.
97.
Because like I say, Richard North sort of hasn't really broke down the barriers in relation to averages. He just seems to be winning games.
58. Richard Yukar,
This is the Wesley Plazier.
122.
It does sort of tire as the events go on. I notice you nod your head as I say that, but
82.
that could be
Wesley
the
Yukar,
saving grace for
154.
Richard North, who is in good shape here to win the first. He's going to take something special from Wesley here. He's on for it. Another one of them.
130. Richard Yukar, 40.
Perfect marker for Richard
Game
North.
shot on the first leg. Richard North.
Executes that very, very nicely. Yeah, the odds seem very generous there for Wesley Plazier. But if Richard North will be feeling good about himself after that first leg,
Second leg, Wesley to throw first. Game on.
you must just tell him if he can just get through this game. He's got all the leg difference. When he looks When he's in the mood, he looks the real deal, doesn't he?
180.
That game with Gary Stone, it just felt like it was harder to miss.
48.
Just looked so effortless.
Yeah, it was a game I won't forget. Gary Stone's head in his hands in that. He just can't believe. He said he didn't feel comfortable last night.
129.
The damage was done last night.
93.
Well, he's thrown 110 and a 93 average tonight. And he's lost both of his games. He's won 4 legs, lost them both
80.
4-2. And when you think the amount of people that have been picking up wins in this group with low 80s and even 70s, must be
125.
disappointed. Sure, he'll be back there in Series 5. He's going to be going to Belgium pretty soon as well for the Belgian Open in 2 weeks. So
that's
the thing with darts now, is there's so much on the horizon that you can't be down for too long.
Double 16. Just takes his time, and I think that's been the big
71.
difference. He just looks a little bit more composed when he comes down to a double. He's looking good for 1-1 here.
87. Wesley Car 32.
Double.
Game shot on the second leg.
The scenario is for
Wesley.
Wesley Plazier. I think both will feel confident that they're now going to qualify, but I think Mike Gillett's working out a plan.
So they've reached it through first. Game on.
And the next game is the biggest game of the night, that's for sure.
83.
But both of these players coming into this match knowing if they win this game, we will be seeing them on Saturday night. And like our commentator Matthew Wade has been in this position
121.
before in Group B, where not only do you just want to qualify from Group B, just a bit of bragging rights in that players area that you want to top the group as well.
126.
Yeah, this is where you go down to that commentator versus player or punditry versus player, because we've said all along, just get in the
78.
top 3. It's the only thing that matters. Get yourself into Saturday night. But then when I stood the other side of that wall, I was in
100.
that players' room. Qualifying wasn't enough. I wanted to win the group. That competitor comes out in you. You don't just go, okay, I'm here, happy
138.
days. There's something more to play for, even if it's just intrinsic.
58. Wesley Car 164.
Another one of them. Been the perfect night so far. And he complements it with a stunning 164. Wesley Plazier has come to the party. And maybe it's just a little reminder to John Henderson that maybe the players haven't been at their best this week.
Fourth leg Wesley to through
Plazier
first.
just
Game
to
on.
be, seems to be on the ascendancy. I think he becomes a real danger tomorrow night. That's how I feel about him. I feel he's
79.
a big-time player. I think the big stuff with the crowd in tomorrow and that prize fund that's there and that dangling carrot
81.
of Champions Week could just be the thing that makes him really kick in.
Just looking at all the big finishers we've had this week, I don't think we've got enough alphabet
94.
for checkout of the week. I think we're going to have to start making up symbols as well, or doubling letters.
100.
Like when you're at the football and you go from row A to Z, then it's row double A, double B, double C. I think that's the way this is going this week, because we have been spoiled
85.
by big finishers. I think the most interesting thing
9.
about the 98 average of Wesley Plazier is it doesn't feel like he's... Is that what Richard North means by he's hit 9 nines tonight?
That's his 10th 9.
57.
As we were on the balcony, apparently they did a 9 between them. Wesley went 180, Richard went 180, and Wesley checked out on 141.
100.
Richard's just done a 9 by himself.
I think I might stick my head in after this game and just remind him that's his 10th today. But if Wesley's backed him up,
75.
will you help me?
We've already upset him once this week. We've had to walk all the way around the building to avoid him.
Yes, I haven't been in the players area.
180. Where's the car? 111.
All I said was that I won a beauty contest and Wesley was runner-up. Took real offence as that. He was so angry. He checked out on 111.
Green shot on the fourth
That's
leg.
the way
Wesley
to do it,
Plazier.
big man. You have been oh so impressive tonight. And I'll let you have my award.
Fourth leg, Richard is through first. Game on.
Actually, there was only the two of us in it. And Wesley come third.
60.
You said you're going to give him the award. You're going to give him the prize money as well?
No. It's gaining interest. But joking aside,
100.
he's been absolutely magnificent tonight, hasn't he? We expected it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
77.
There's just been something very, very special about him tonight. Just look at him. He's in the mood.
180.
He is the WDF World Master, and he's just shy of 100 average. And I'm enjoying every dart he's thrown tonight.
180.
Just shy of 100 average again, I think is the key thing, because playing like this
137.
all night.
Yeah, it's been an absolute joy, and for Richard North, he'll be eyeing his
81.
next game against
Wesley car 84.
Gary Stone, just to secure his place on Saturday night. But just an unbelievable game once again. Wesley
Game shot on the
Plazier,
match,
you
Wesley
have
Plazier.
been absolutely magnificent tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night where you become a very dangerous player. It'll be no surprise to me to see him lift that trophy, because he's been absolutely mega, and he'll walk in tomorrow night full of confidence. Look at those numbers: 101.96, 66.67%, and a 164. That's championship form. Next up, it's Mike Gillett against Patrick van den Bogaard. A big game coming up.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where before the break, Wesley Plazier notched up another ton-plus average and getting the better of Richard North by 4 legs to 1, including 2 ton-plus checkouts. So he's through to tomorrow night's final, and it could all be over by the end of this game, because if Patrick van der Buchada can get the better of Mike Gillett, our final 3 qualifiers will be confirmed. Watching this one then, in commentary, Glenn and Matt.
Yeah, thank you so much, Henry. Yeah, big emphasis on this game for Mike Gillett. If he wins this game, he's still got an opportunity to get through. Last time he was here, he just to say got through Group B, scraping through in 3rd place, and then I want him for an amazing night the next night. He'll be dreaming of that again.
First leg, Mike, you through
Patrick
first.
van der Bohard, I think he still needs to find another gear. I don't think he's been at his best, but somehow finds himself on 8 points. It's a real head scratcher when you see that Patrick's on 8 points and Gary Stone's on 2, who's at times has been excellent.
40.
Not a pleasant opener for Gillett, that's for sure.
This game goes beyond just winning for Mike Gillett. He's got to win strong. The leg difference has him at -6.
96.
But if Mike Gillett wins this game quite strong, and Gary Stone continues to play the way that Gary Stone's been playing, and takes a victory over Richard North,
96.
Mike Gillett is right in the mix here. He's probably in a better position than he realises, because the way the fixtures are going to break down.
But look who he plays last game.
96.
I don't want to pour water on your fire, but the way Wesley's been... Though Wesley, you know, come the end of the night, has shown signs that
41.
he's not at his best. He has shown signs of fatigue. He knows he's through now, so who knows what we're going to get from him, but still a big ask, and you've got to favour this man in your picture and Richard North to qualify.
117. 26.
Making a mess of it. Really struggling to find the range in this opening leg. Could be about to relinquish the throw
95.
very quickly.
Yeah, there was nothing to separate them yesterday. It was just Patrick who got over the line 4-3 with his best average of Group B. Just over an 89.
96. Patrick 97.
2 darts at tops.
Game shot on the first leg.
Right in the
Patrick van
corner,
den Boogaard.
precariously close that double 15, but a lovely 15 dart break of throw. And like you said, you do start looking at leg difference as well. It's getting to a stage where not only are we looking at the 2 points,
Second leg, Patrick, you through first. Game on.
but that leg difference can be just so important. It really is a double Dutch at the moment. The in-play table shows the top 2 Dutchies
95.
right at the top there. It's that argument of fresh players coming into Group B against players who have
83.
played all week. And it's this time the guys from Group A really doing the business.
$96.
We're going down the beach tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah,
48.
I've got my 2 pences for the machines.
Try and win a teddy. As long as you don't play the darts game, we should be fine.
59. $66.
It's the angled of entry as well. That concerns me a little bit for Mike Gillett. His form's really deserted him so far in this game, and Patrick's just very steady, just plods
100.
along. Has that been a little bit unfair, plodding along? But it's just tough to beat. But you pretty much know what you're going to get from
85.
Patrick.
Patrick Carr,
Patrick
151.
wants to do some damage tomorrow. I just think he needs to really improve from now. This 1-5-1 area of at least setting it up.
93.
To what he does next. It's the next phase of the game for Patrick.
99.
Can
Patrick
be
Carr,
really
58.
clinical this time. I've no doubt he'll miss the big number because he's very, very straight. It's just this section of the game. And that's what he needs
Game
to do.
shot on the
This is
second leg.
so much
Patrick
better.
van den
It's 2-0 to
Bogart.
Patrick van den Bogart. Mike Gillett knew exactly what to do, but Mike Gillett not only had to win this game, he felt he had to win the game very, very big. And Patrick just goes through
Third
that
leg, Mike, to
same
third first.
process.
Game
It's
on.
mesmeric.
And when Mike Gillett needed the performance more than ever, he has put in a
95.
performance that is by far his worst performance so far of his Group B campaign. But we know he can turn it around. This is the slot yesterday. And he had the
100.
incredible run of 14-11, 14-14. He was 3-0 down to Gary Stone. His third match of the
100.
day, so he likes this sort of slot to the 10 past 12.
Yeah, Patrick was delighted.
100.
As I say, we've seen him video messaging friends and family at home. Well, I was more on the side of Wesley Plazier, who was in the kebab shop getting an extra large doner.
164.
That type of man.
All the trimmings. Double sauces. And he
100.
can certainly
Mike
have
Carr,
it tonight. He can,
142.
he's earned his doner kebab.
He was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And you just bring him into contention for the finals tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see what group he's in
60.
as well. And yeah, he just becomes a big player, doesn't he? Can you still see anything past Hendo?
I didn't until I've seen Wesley Plazier today. He's put in 2
96.
ton-topping averages
Michael Carr,
already
82.
today.
Should be bullseye first start. 77 left, so either treble 19 or treble 15. Seems to be squinting his eyes as he... He's having a problem with the lighting on the board there, but he won't like that.
50. Patrick Carr, 105.
This will hurt. Got 86 left, so treble 18. For double 16. For unassailable, you feel 3-0 lead.
Game shot on the third leg.
Absolutely
Patrick van den
clinical.
Bogart.
Very professional, very clean, and super concise. He continues to impress, Matt.
Fourth leg, Patrick, you through first. Game on.
Gillett, when he needed it the most, finds the least.
43.
This will be game over. We'll know who's going through. It'll be the 3 players that are sat in first, second and third. It'll just be
41.
in what order. And also, who's going to be taking that group title? You've got to say, Wesley Plazier, a man who came in 100 to 30. Right now,
90.
I wish you'd have took that.
100.
One big score from Bogart.
$58.
Even when he's missing Patrick, it's not by a long way. The two Dutchmen have really excelled tonight.
45. 94.
Gillett did turn this around.
$121.
We know he can fight. We know he can dig deep.
Looking to fill it.
180.
Absolutely wonderful. Just playing at
78.
his own pace. He's
Matthew Carr,
dictating
36.
proceedings as Patrick van der Bohard. He does like double 18. If he's going to miss big, he should go wide.
Game, shot,
That
and
is
the
an
match. Patrick van der
exceptional
Bogart.
performance. We now see our 3 finalists from Group B, and Patrick van der Bohard will be one of them. That was his best performance of Group B. Very solid, 93.94. We've criticised his checkouts this week, but look at that. 4 from 6 on the outer ring. That beautiful 105 finish on double 16, and Mike Gillett, no darts at the double, tells its own till next up, it's Gary Stone against Richard North.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where all is said and done in terms of qualification through to tomorrow night's final after Patrick van der Bohard got the better of Mike Gillett by 4-0. So there we go, confirmation then. That is how things are going to look then in terms of qualification. Wesley Plazier, Patrick van der Bohard on 10 points, and the 8 points for Richard North is unsurmountable now by Mike Gillett. So next up for us, it is Gary Stone in action up against Richard North. It's North's last game of this group. We are going to see him tomorrow night. Watching this one in the commentary box, it's Glenn and Matt.
Yeah, thank you so much, Henry. Yeah, feels like a bit of an anticlimax coming to the last 3 games
First
of the
leg,
night,
Gary to
because
through first.
I think we fully expected this
Game
group to
on.
go all the distance. I really wouldn't want to be in the shoes of this man. I would try to say to him that
100.
you've been great. You've been fine. It's just been one of those bizarre circumstances that we possibly won't see in the MODUS Super Series for a while. You've arguably been the best player over the 2 days, but his assessment's different. He remembers missing tops, 10s and 5s in his very first leg of and never really recovered.
60.
And then he's had 2 unbelievable performances from Mike Gillett against him, and then that just one of those real memories from the MODUS Super Series and that
51.
unbelievable game over Wesley Plazier. It's just been a strange set of circumstances.
81.
And it's hard to leave and be happy when you're in that sort of set of circumstances.
100.
You can look at the performance and go, that won't happen again. But you probably felt like that after the first game and then the second game. And it probably
60.
felt like that at points of yesterday when Mike Gillett turned it around from 3-0 down. He's run into 3 really big performances.
Yeah, and I think the players on
96.
Saturday night will be delighted not to see his name there, because for moments this week he was not only the favourite to win this group, but the
100.
favourite to win the
Richard
week.
O'Carr, 114.
It'll be a surprise to many, including me, that he won't be there tomorrow night. But we'll be seeing Richard North. He lives
40.
fairly local,
Gary
so it'll be
O'Carr,
great
100.
to see some of his family and friends coming down. As Gary Stone looks at tops.
Game shot on the first leg. Gary Stone.
Tops, it is going to be typical of this game for Gary to run away with this one when it really doesn't mean anything. But just scan that barcode and you can come and join us tomorrow
Second
night.
leg, Richard
Here's
to
a
throw
small
first.
booking
Game on.
fee. Richard North with the crowd
58.
usually means one thing, and that's excitement.
$60.
Just been watching his video when he played Luke Littler, where Luke had a low score and he fist pumped him.
34.
The kind of character you get with Richard North. He's a very likeable, funny guy. Wouldn't it be nice to see him lift the trophy tomorrow?
121.
Which job done, he will be there.
89.
And you'll be happy with that. Back-to-back qualifications. You sort of feel there's progress at the moment for Richard North, because
55.
there was a point where you thought, I don't know if he's ever going to be back on the top table again. But he's making strides forward. Time on
95.
his side. He's still fairly a young man in terms of the sport of darts.
Yeah, we're going to get the opportunity to speak to the 6 qualifiers
95.
before tomorrow night as well. So they're the kind of questions that'll be interesting. Does he still have the love and the passion for the game? Is he still practicing hard? Does he still have the
83.
desire
Gary
to
O'Carr, 170.
reach the highs of the game? But these are the opportunities as an amateur player that you want to be on this stage. It's just all been a bit of a disaster for Gary Stone, but I'd love
60.
to see him see the positives out
Richard
of it. I
O'Carr,
think he
142.
has one serious chance, serious chance of being the Lakeside champion this year.
85. Gary O'Carr, 110.
Maybe next year it'll be Matthew Edgar we'll see at Lakeside. Yeah. Maybe
26.
planning an assault
Richard
on the
O'Carr,
WDF. It'd
57.
be great to see you on that stage. As North, he looks at 2 darts at tops.
Game shot on the second leg. Richard North.
Fire time. It's 1-1.
You sort of feel this was always going to be one of those games that could go either way, but it's always got the chance to ignite when you've got 2 players
Third leg,
that
Gary to
like
throw
to just
first.
get on
Game
with
on.
it and play with a bit of pace.
Yeah, just a quick shout out for the referee, Paul Hinks.
22.
His final couple of games, it'll be Charlie Costafine who'll be referee in the final tomorrow. It has been great to spend the week with Paul.
57.
There's the great man. Porridge and pot noodles. And now I've got to put up with Charlie Costafine not
96.
doing the dishes.
Has it been the same flavoured pot noodle for Paul Hinks?
Chicken and mushroom.
96.
Not salt, lad. Nate Pepper. Just a slice of Orvis.
85.
People often wonder what people eat on tour, don't they? Well,
He went out for food tonight and didn't invite
58.
us. How rude.
maybe you realise that he won't
100.
pick up the bill.
Well, I've took him out 3 times so far. 3 times I've paid.
140. $60. Richie McCarr, 150.
You never know if it's 3 bulls with Northie. Certainly is as well.
100. Gary O'Carr, 138. $98. Richard O'Carr, 50.
Straight for it.
Game shot on the third leg. Richard North.
I think that went into fast forward, them 2 darts, but maybe the cameraman had the same thoughts as I did. He went for the 3 on 150. Set it up
Fourth leg,
nicely.
Richard to throw first.
To
Game
lead
on.
2-1.
Gary Stone's had enough, hasn't he? You can just see it all over him.
140.
He's a costume of Gary Stone right now. Everything that's been thrown at him has absolutely landed.
58.
Yeah, I'm just thinking as he picked up the dart since that disappointing defeat when he realised he can't. And he's a winner. You know, second best isn't good enough for
93.
him. And we have to be professional when you're up there. Yes, the league table's all sorted, but you'll want to be back here at the MODUS Super Series again, and you can still promote yourself
180.
while you're up there. And integrity and professionalism is really important in this game.
$126.
Well, that for Gary is his 10th. 180.
134. Richard
He's
O'Carr,
bottom of the table on 2
142.
points.
$102. Gary O'Carr, 129.
Fantastic set-up play from Northie. Treble 20 is all Gary can do for the bull.
88.
That was a
Richard
super
O'Carr, 40.
quick throw at the bull. Northie's been phenomenal on this tops. Will it continue?
Game
Yes,
shot
it
on the
will.
fourth
That's
leg.
right.
Richard
Smack
North.
bang in the middle. Richard North is all of a sudden producing darts that he can take as confidence going into tomorrow. I don't think he'd have been satisfied totally
Fifth leg, Gary to throw
with his
first. Game on.
performance the past 2 days. But to beat Gary Stone would be a nice foundation. Ready for his assault
140.
tomorrow night. It's a different
140.
player.
Well, I think the scenario and the pressure of everything has just completely gone from him now, and he can just
180.
stand and throw. This will be like standing on the practice board right now for Richard North.
134.
11 180s for Gary Stone. And 11
38.
Rice Miles.
Well, that's one table he can say he's top, the 180s.
85.
Like Gillett
Gary
on
O'Carr,
10.
143.
Richard North on 7, and they are miles clear of the rest.
94. Richard O'Carr, 142.
Be some way to send himself through to Saturday night.
$79. Gary O'Carr, 49.
Save the match.
33. Richard O'Carr, 63.
And this for Richard North is for the match. Big 17. The tops for the match.
28.
Maybe just
Gary O'Carr,
lacked a little
16.
bit of composure, but probably was in that rhythm that he did earlier in tops before. Gary Stone didn't look
Game
confident
shot on
going
the
into
fifth
that
leg.
one.
Gary Stone.
And we talked about professionalism. Well, he's still fighting. He's still in there. He's got his own pride to play for.
– 6 leg, Richard to throw first. Game on.
pace and everything about Richard North has just so
140.
changed, hasn't it, in this game? In the way he's moving.
I wonder if he realises that, because the best dart he's thrown
180.
when he's been at pace. 12-180 he's now for Gary Stone.
90.
Just like to throw that last dart at the bullseye, doesn't he, at times?
60.
Hasn't really helped him out too much. He might have to start down on the 19s now.
Yeah, he did that because a single 19, he'd have gone for the bullseye. But still have to finish.
117.
You can see that finishing line. But here comes Stone.
121. Richard Ricard, 154.
A little bit of a slip there with the last start. That could cause some problems.
78 left.
94. Gary Ricard, 140.
Here's a two-darter for Northie, and he's been really relentless on this double top. So it's looking good for the local
100.
man.
Richard Ricard, 60.
And for the match, and to get himself and his campaign to 10 points. Double top.
20. Gary Ricard, 40. No score. Richard Ricard, 40.
Long way off. No composure.
20. Gary Ricard, 40.
The 3-3.
Game shot on the
3-3
sixth leg.
it
Gary
is.
Stone.
Like you said, you just get the feeling that both players just want to get up the stage for different reasons. Northie probably wants to get himself prepared for tomorrow. Lots of rest.
Seventh and final leg. Gary to
He'll
throw
be
first.
bouncing
Game
tomorrow
on.
night, that's for sure. Will he have some support with him?
60.
That might be just another 5% for Northie.
He's not been far off what you'd say is the
96.
form required in order to compete for the weekly title. You know, he can do a little
100.
bit more on what he's shown so far. He's going to be in the mix tomorrow, that's for sure.
115.
Interesting to see how the groups line up. A lot
60.
of weeks you look at it and say it doesn't really matter. I think this week, I think who goes where is going to play quite a significance with people's chances
100.
of getting through to the semi-finals.
Yeah, but if you're getting to the Saturday, you've got to believe in your own ability there. And whether you're playing one of the top dogs in the
57.
group stage, the semi-finals, you've got to beat them on the way. So I was never worried about what groups. There was a competition called the Finder Masters, which was like a 3-man
64.
competition. I never wondered if I couldn't get myself through that group, then I didn't deserve to win the competition. I think they'll be delighted to be there Saturday night.
33. Richard Ricard,
They'll all
126.
fancy the chances. A different feel, a different type of competition. The finals night, it's thrown up surprises before. Bull for the match.
101.
Didn't need to go for the ball, but wanted to end with a bit of a fanfare.
57. Richard Ricard, 25.
It's 25 to condemn Gary Stone to another defeat.
It didn't go that way, but it's double 11. Sometimes that happens.
3. Gary Ricard,
This would be so
134.
typical of Gary Stone's week if he was to take out this 1-3-4.
You called it, Matt.
94. Richard Ricard, 22.
And for the match, Richard North to join the Dutchies on 10 points. It's job done in sense of qualification for Saturday night. He'd like to finish with a win.
No score.
But he went for 9-1-1
Gary
there, but
Ricard,
has
40.
bust. And Gary Stone will be like, I've got all my luck at the wrong time.
No score. Richard Ricard, 22.
He's had plenty of chances, just not been able to convert. Frustrated.
It's there in
Game
the end.
shot and the
It was a
match,
real
Richard
messy
North.
end between Richard North and Gary Stone, but Richard North wins the match 4-3. We'll be seeing him here tomorrow night. I have a feeling we'll see a different version of Richard North. The crowd, he'll really love that. He'll be bouncing. He's Mr. Confident, and he finishes off his campaign in Group B with a win. For Gary Stone, it's all just petered out in the end, and a very disappointing loss. As we look at the penultimate game of the night, it's Wesley Plazier against Mike Gillett.
Very well, welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Richard North has made it 3 players onto double digits in terms of points, where before the break he condemned Gary Stone to yet another defeat by 4 legs to 3 in that particular encounter. So it is a final game of the group for Wesley Plazier and Mike Gillett, and both players will be heading into different directions on the end of this one. For Wesley Plazier, it is a place into finals night on his debut. As for Mike Gillett, he will depart us from the conclusion of this one. Let's hand over to Glenn and Matt.
Thank you so much, Henry. Yeah, for Wesley Plazier, he'll want to just finish off with a 4 out of 4 scenario tonight. He's been superb. All stemmed the real catalyst of that most amazing game with Gary Stone. A game where both identified if they could win, they could really have real momentum to qualify for the group. Well, Wesley not only did that, he then was absolutely superb in his second game as well against his good friend Patrick van den Boharder. We've seen the real best from him. And like I said, he can just relax and play darts here and just get himself back rested. And he just becomes a major player like we thought he would be on Monday. Tomorrow night,
43.
Gillett will be hoping for an improved performance from his last match. Even managed to get a dart at a double in that one when he was beaten 4-0 by Patrick van der Behaarden.
96.
Already seems a lot better. I think he was just really feeling the intensity of the situation because he didn't just need to beat Patrick, he needed to beat him by
81.
quite a sizable scoreline. And I don't think the odds fully reflect what we've seen tonight. Mike Gillett, 11-8. Wesley Plazier, 8-15.
180.
He hasn't started quickly here, Wesley, and the fact that he's traditionally, his late games, he's very poor. He looks jaded, tired.
100. Mike Ricard, 100.
That's what we're seeing from him. And the fact he's already qualified, he just does seem a bit...
80.
But like I said, do you really want to go into a finals night tomorrow in the back of a loss? So maybe it was my mentality. I just wanted to win every game. I wanted to smash everybody every game, whether it was
100.
academic or
Mike
not.
Ricard, 20.
But it's Mike Gillett who's providing some good darts here. Double 10 for a 1-0 lead.
No score. Wesley Ricard, 120.
Plazier has had 5 tumblers finishes so far. 2 of them have been exactly this, the 120. Can you make it a 120 hat-trick? Needs the treble. That's in the way. We may see bull.
96. Mike Ricard, 20.
A very Luke Humphreys with a length of them stems. No mistake this time for Gillett, you would feel.
Game shot on the first side. Mike
Bang
Gillett.
in the middle for the very likeable Gillett. But yeah, that's the only thing I'd be thinking for Wesley. Just knuckle down and win this game, and
Second leg, Mike, you through first. Game on.
just let your opponents know tomorrow night that you're in good nick.
81. 81.
We're seeing it again here
58.
from Wesley, aren't we? In this back-end game where it just almost looks like mopes in a little bit, just a little bit jaded. And that's a concern for tomorrow because tomorrow is
140.
a night that sort of spread out across quite a long period of time that he needs to be able to sustain that concentration level.
81.
I don't think I found the right word all week, and maybe moped was something that I was looking for, but you just want to give him a kick up the backside, don't you? You want to give him a real shake. Like I say, imagine if you had the talent that he's
91.
got. And that's what I want to try and bring to people. You're showing your opponent that it's not meaning an awful lot. There'll be players watching for tomorrow.
96.
The groups will be coming out soon for tomorrow. And you want to put a real brilliant performance on. He knows his game's there with that incredible game with Gary Stone, but go and produce it again and
59.
again and again, because that's what champions do, Matt.
Well, when you go and give him a kick up the backside and a shake, could you let me know so I'm not nearby?
42.
He doesn't
Wesley
frighten
Ricard,
me.
130. 65.
Comes
Mike
across
Ricard,
as a real gentle
143.
giant. He's we'll try and have a chat with him before tomorrow.
41. Wesley Ricard, 65.
Yeah, you'd want to just get off the stage now, but it just all seems very slow. Yeah, and the smile there is just because that's what happens when you go for 65, so why keep doing it? Double 4 for 1-1.
Game shot on the second leg. Wesley Plazier.
I have to say the camaraderie's been wonderful this week, hasn't it?
Third leg, Wesley, you through
Like I
first.
said, it's quite
Game
a
on.
confined area there, and you see relationships built between the players, but this week in particular has been very, very good. Some of the real old-timers who are nice to see.
54.
Alan Tabban, Andy Hamilton. And then the younger players as well, just all mixing really, really well. Jared Cole was exceptional today.
59.
I really liked his interview where he said, right now it's all about rest. He's probably fast asleep right now, Jared. Dreaming about lifting that title tomorrow.
125.
Was you a cash or
140.
I was trophy for a long, long time. I was trophy, and I remember being in an airport with Gerwin Price, and I said, I just want to
54.
win Ali Pali for the trophy. And he just gave me the biggest lesson. He went, if I won the trophy, I'd give it back. For me, it's all about money, buying houses, making sure not only my children, but their children are looked after for the future. And it was just what a mentality, I thought. He said he couldn't care less about trophies. Keep them.
$134.
Yes, Phil Taylor. I said, what have you kept? What's your main piece of memorabilia? He said he kept absolutely. He's got nothing. Absolutely. Didn't keep that. The World
140.
Match Play
Where's
trophies
the car?
at
134.
his sponsors' headquarters at Harrow. Harlow.
$82. Mike, your car, 87.
Level 17. It'll be bullseye once again for Gillett. Hasn't been too kind for him.
38. Where's the car,
Couple
52.
of real big finishes when he's been playing against Gary Stone, but apart from that, just the one darter double for Wesley. That's all
Getting
he
shot on
needs,
the
though.
third leg. Wesley Plazier.
It seems to be one of those nights that everything he touches turns to gold. It hasn't been spectacular. Well below on his averages the rest of the night, but just seems to be doing enough, and he's looking good for 4 wins out of 4.
Fourth leg, Mike, you through first. Game on.
Exactly what you want going into a massive competition tomorrow night. Looking forward to it.
140. $57.
Well, Richard North and Mike Gillett travelled here
99.
together. And Richard North's night has finished, and I'm kind of hoping this one finishes quite quick as well, because it sounds like the Richard North karaoke started next door. And I could kind of do with not having to listen to that for too much longer.
Yes, I was listening to a bit of Wham earlier.
134.
Last Christmas already.
$98. Mike, your car,
128 for Gillett.
Can't be done now. He'll stay there.
88. $134.
For a level game.
Mike, your car, 40. Getting shot on the fourth leg. Mike Gillett.
Tend to find that the players that darts lie quite flat like that, they don't like those high doubles, the tops, the ones, the fives. That's the one that Mike Gillett used
This
to
leg, Wesley to through
convert.
first.
He
Game
can't
on.
play himself into this. This is the last time we'll see Mike Gillett playing in this series. I'm pretty
100.
sure we're going to see Mike Gillett again in a future Super Series phase.
$100.
Wasn't able to follow up the heroics of the last series, where he actually won the week, got himself into Champions Week.
100.
What was your thoughts on next week's players? Any standout for you? I had a good look at Robert Thornton myself.
60.
His name was just burning bright as I looked at the list.
We've got some really good competitive groups actually next week. I agree with you on Martin Adams. I feel
97.
Martin Adams has to get through Group A, or I don't see him getting through. I think it'll get harder as it goes.
Yeah, I think last time he didn't show signs, but there was a little bit of distress. I think it's tough.
140.
If I ever do play in this, I think Group A would be one I'd like to avoid. I'd like to have played in C today. It was a proper Legends. It was the young man that reached the
137.
top, though, in Jared Cole. And Justin Hood. I say we're not talking about him for tomorrow night because when you think of him, you think of his injury.
45. Wesley car 67. Game shot on the 5th leg. Wesley Plazier.
Yeah, 3 from 4 on the outer ring for Wesley Plazier. That's been a real key to his success in this game. Very solid on the hundreds mark. But
6 leg Mike, you through first. Game on.
not as many ton 40s or 180s as we've seen from him tonight, but just super solid. And you can see him parading behind Mike Gillett there.
58.
He just wants to get this game over and done with now. And I would say to you, Wesley, no better way than a nice 12 darter.
60. $100.
We went to Mike Gillett, a school teacher by profession.
100.
His school split up today. He is now on the end of the year holidays. 6 weeks of sun, bliss,
180.
bit of darts, trip to Belgium so he can take part in the Belgium Open that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
That's absolutely roasting, that venue, by the way.
95.
Glass roof, like a boating club. Yes, I won it on the Antwerp Open the same weekend, so just before
97.
you ask.
I wasn't going to.
Find a restaurant called Amadeus.
58. Mike, your car 66.
Mike Gill looks at 66. Could stay there.
$30.
Well, Plazier not in a position to strike. So the indications are that this game is going to go all the way.
78. Mario Kart 36.
Double 9.
Game shot on the 6th leg. Mike
Smack
Gillett.
bang in the middle. And the last 2 games have gone the full 7 legs. You can see the intensity doesn't seem to be in the game.
7th and final leg.
Just
Wesley, your third
creating
first. Game on.
Very tight matches. And that's what can happen sometimes when early qualification is sorted.
140.
But for that man in your picture there, he has to go away with 4 wins out of 4. And you can walk out with your chest out tomorrow and walk into there and let people know that you're now
28.
in form. You've played yourself into form. You've topped the group. You just feel you can turn it on at any time. don't you?
97.
Yeah, he's like a light switch, isn't he? He's Wesley Plazier.
Lamppost, more like.
58.
We're definitely going to be walking the long way home.
$28. $100. 134.
That could be the moment.
$45.
Is that the end of
Wesley
my
O'Connor,
Gillett?
102.
102 for Plazier. I said he'd want a 12 darter. Well, a nice solid 15 darts to win this match. Hit a big 17 to leave tops.
62.
What a night it's been for the big Dutchman.
$100. Wesley O'Connor, 40.
Double 10. And
Game,
there it is.
shot, and the
Easy
match,
as 1, 2, 3
Plazier.
for Wesley Plazier. 4 out of 4 for the big man from Holland. We'll be seeing him there on Saturday night, and he will play a big, big role. Fair play to him, and you can see how delighted he is. Like Gillett being the absolute sportsman he is, so magnanimous in defeat. As we look at the tail of the tape there, 4 from 6 on the outer ring for Wesley Plazier. Absolutely superb. Final game of the night, it's Patrick van den Bogart against Gary Stone.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. Wesley Plazier is alongside me up here on the balcony. Wesley, many congratulations through to tomorrow night. How would you assess your week here at the Super Series?
Thank you very much. First 2 days I was a little bit nervous and getting used to the stage and the format, but I'm happy. I'm pretty happy.
What did you think going into Group B after Group A? What was your thinking going into last night?
I go up there and I think like I didn't play that bad the first 3 days, but yeah, you start again and all over. And apparently, in the first 2 matches I won, and I was thinking like, win 1 more match and you're close to the finals day. But yeah, I go into today like I have nothing to lose, and I try to play my best. And then my first match was, I never played this good in my life.
And then tomorrow night, finals night, the chance to win the competition. How much are you looking forward to that now?
A lot. That was my goal, to go to the finals night, and doesn't matter how to go top of the group in the first group or like this. I'm very happy. I'm really happy.
Well, Wes, it's been great to have you here this week. We'll see you tomorrow night. Many congratulations. One last game for us to go in Group B. It sees Patrick van der Bogart up against Gary Stone. And we're going to head down now to Matt and Glenn in commentary.
Thank you so much, Henry. Another fantastic interview there, and really pleased to see Wesley Plazier there on Saturday night. I think he's going to be not only a credit to the MODUS Super Series, but I think he's just going to add a new dimension. I think there's still another gear there. It was interesting to hear him say he was nervous, because the way I was reading it, I just thought he looked a little lethargic and maybe just a little bit slow around the hockey, and I just thought he needed just a bit more inner motivation. But you can clearly see that it means a lot to him. He's delighted to get through.
First leg, Patrick, you through first.
What a player, and I think he has one hell of a chance to do the business tomorrow night. And for Patrick van der Bogart, he has just not had the successes, the plaudits, the headlines. He's just done an awesome job, really. Like I said, I think he's got limitations. I don't think he has the gears that Wesley Plazier's got, but just been a real joy to watch, and just another great story here for the ADC Europeans. And yeah, he'll be give another special addition to the finals night tomorrow night.
And finally, we can sit here and say we've found someone that can really rival John Henderson. I think until we saw Wesley Plazier tonight, I was a bit concerned that Hendo was just going to run away with tomorrow night.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear that John Henderson was in the building when Group C finished and had a good hour's practice. That's how he's taken tomorrow. That's wonderful preparation.
98.
I think my one disappointment is that we're not going to see this man here on Saturday night. I think he has the game. He's got the form. It's just been a real bizarre, strange sequence of events, and maybe one I don't think I'll see again. I still think he's been the best player in this group, barring some unbelievable moments from Wesley Plazier.
140.
Everybody just raised the game against him, and each game sort of had a story to tell.
43. Paducah 74.
He has been creeping into the 11 on this 74 finish. Nice solid 20. At the top. That's the move, so you'll be looking at the left-hand side of that double top.
54.
But just goes under.
Paducah 124. 92. Paducah 20.
Gary Stone only won
18.
one match from his
Paducah
7.
32.
You always talk about trying to leave with something
Game shot on the
positive.
first leg. Gary Stone.
Got a chance here to leave with a win. And before the night came up, if you was to highlight the matches and go, I think that's a winner there, I think that's one, you'd have said Gary Stone. You'd have fancied him to win this one, and
second leg, Gary to through first.
Maybe put himself into a top 3 position.
Yeah, it's going to be a long journey home, isn't it? I don't know if he's drove down or flew down to Southampton Airport, but it's going to be a long journey home.
140.
I really genuinely feel he had aspirations of winning this group and winning the actual week as well. And yeah, it's a big disappointment, but that's the highs and lows of the MODUS Super Series. You're going to get successes like we have with Patrick van der Bogart, and you're going to have Wesley Plazier, the John Henderson success story. And you're also going to get surprises and disappointments, and Gary Stone's in that bracket.
99.
It's not because he's come here and not delivered in terms of his standards. He's just missed a couple of cute moments. So
100.
we have been talking a lot about how other people have rose their game against him and done the right things, but he's still had opportunities within those games. He's had it in his own hands and not been able to capitalise. Yes, he's not had as many opportunities as other players, but he has
98.
had
Gariocar
chances.
161.
Interesting though, Matt. He goes all the way back to the first leg of Group B when he had 3 darts.
89.
Tops 10s and
Plazier
5s.
170.
He said he didn't feel comfortable last night. And you've used the word expectation an awful lot this week. Maybe that was the reason why.
$44. Gariocar
I think he had
72.
expectation as well because he came into here playing so well. Hitting a lot of big averages on the ADC, but
64.
2 messy darts.
Plazier 126.
He could have gone 15 bull there. Probably shows you where his mindset is now. Just going through the motions you feel. But Patrick can't finish.
54. Gariocar 8. No score. Plazier 72.
It was missed doubles against Richard North. Like you said, that intensity seems to have gone out of him. He just seems to be playing an autopilot. 48 left, so it's double 16 for...
Game shot on the second leg.
Bogart.
Patrick van den Bogart.
And when he has just the 1 dart in his hand for a double, he's pretty deadly.
Third leg, Patrick, you throw first. Game on.
And I go back to what I said about Gary Stone. He's having opportunities. He's got chances.
$96.
Not taking them. Carving out his opportunities. Same problem. Pulled it low.
85.
Missed the double. Missed the chance. Punished. And I think we focused a little bit too much on the players jumping in.
95. $83.
Well, looking back through the fixtures, Gary Stone wearing an orange shirt tonight. Richard North wearing an orange shirt tonight because they said that the 2 Dutchmen
95.
were giving them a pumping. So if you can't beat them, join them. It hasn't worked out too well for them so far.
Yeah, the reverse psychology.
171.
Plazier a 4-1 winner over Richard North. Van den Bogart a 4-3 winner over Richard North, so it didn't work for him.
139.
Gary Stone, 4-2 defeat to Wesley Plazier. And if Van den Bogart can beat Gary Stone, it'll be more of the same,
48. Patrick
regardless of the
76.
colour of the shirt.
$56. Gariocar 114.
Misses that top. It's usually just below. Treble 18 for Stone. Will he do the same? Absolutely not,
Game
because
shown
when
the
you
third
don't
leg.
need it as
Gary
much,
Stone.
the game is just ridiculously easy, Gary, isn't it?
Fourth leg, Gary
You
to
might be
throw
too
first.
young for
Game
this,
on.
but I've just got a nickname for Patrick. Humphrey. Humphrey Bogart.
57.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're on about.
Famous actor. Are you Googling Humphrey Bogart?
180.
Is there a reason behind the nickname?
$82.
It's not because they're lookalikes.
$95.
Superb last start there from Patrick.
$180.
Run out of fingers and toes for 180s for Gary Stone, this Group B campaign. This is a fantastic leg of darts on both. 2 180s.
100. $62. Patrick car 126.
Patrick will look at the 19s, where I think he's very proficient around this area. That's to move across to get the angle. Look at treble 16.
54. Gary car 120.
One of the best terms in darts, Shanghai. It's not to be.
60. Patrick car 72.
And Bogart is going to get a chance at 72.
The shot he took to win his
52.
leg, he won't be
Gary
doing
car
it again.
60.
Gary Stone to move himself one away from his second
Game shot
victory
on the
of
fourth
this
leg. Gary
group.
Stone.
It just feels so much easier.
I was going to say, doesn't he make the game look ridiculously easy when he wants to?
And you can
Fifth leg,
almost
Patrick to
feel the
first.
disappointment here for Gary Stone. I'll be wondering why he wasn't able to do this earlier on.
$100.
For Patrick van den Bogaert. We'll be seeing him tomorrow alongside
58.
Plazier and Richard North, who will qualify through this group with him. Great lineup of action tomorrow night as we conclude week 11. Just one more week to go for
45.
next instalment of Champions Week, where £20,000 will be on the line. And that's where
180.
Gary Stone will feel the disappointment, because it's so close to Champions Week. You want to be qualifying late on, so you're full of those positive vibes and the fresh experience. Always a big advantage to
99.
be coming in at the back end of the phase. That 180 for Gary Stone is 14th of
46.
the campaign, the biggest 180 hitter of Group B. Mike Gillett scored in 12, 7 for Richard North, Patrick van den Bogaert and
100.
Plazier, the two Dutchmen. 5 180s apiece.
180.
Make that
Patrick car
15
157.
180s for Gary Stone. By far the biggest hitter in terms of that big scoring power.
137. Gary car 37. $5. Patrick car
Long
20.
way off there for Gary Stone. I thought he was having a bit of loopy.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Patrick van den
We go on.
Bogaert.
Patrick van den Bogaert, an unexpected opportunity there for him. An opportunity for Gary Stone to add to that 180 column. You might put some more in there.
Sixth leg, Gary to throw first. Game on.
15 scores of a 180 or more.
60.
Second biggest average of the week, the 110.37 in his opening game today against Wesley Plazier. That was beaten.
81.
Henderson in his Group A campaign, when he needed it the most, he dug out the biggest average of them all, the 111.33.
140. $60.
Interestingly, with this Group B, the two players at the top are the two representatives from ADC
27.
Europe. We have seen ADC sending some quality operators here to the Super Series. Continues to
100.
unearth new talent.
$140.
Gary Stone continues putting these big 90-plus averages.
140. Got your car 134.
Coming into this game, 50% of his games have been above the 90.
80. Part of your car 120.
Tops.
80. Got
That
your
would have
car
took us all the
54.
way, but Gary Stone, who has already missed 2 match darts, gets 2 more. He's at tops. Target he's had a lot of success
34.
on, but he just cannot
Part of your car
win a
40.
match. What is going on in the head of Gary Stone?
Game shot on the 6th leg. Patrick
Wow.
van den Bogart.
Just wow. Gary Stone, he does all the right things until he gets to the moment where it's time to cross the line, and he just can't step
Second and
over it.
final leg. Patrick to throw first. Game on.
Well, Patrick van den Bogart yesterday
58.
was outside on his smartphone video calling, absolutely delighted with his evening's work, giving himself the opportunity to qualify. Tonight he has qualified.
100.
He might be outside with the streamers and the party poppers.
$58.
Get the feeling that Gary Stone's going to get a couple of more match darts here. He has been outscoring
96.
Patrick van den Bogart. Just been sticking in this one, waiting for his opportunities, taking them with aplomb.
96. $85.
Lovely first start.
83.
Can Gary Stone do it? Can Gary Stone cross the line? Can he get his second victory? His first victory came in
100.
the very last game of yesterday. It could be the last game again today. Certainly plays the card, saved the best to last. Although in terms of performance,
98. Got your car
struggled to get much better than
120.
that first one. And tops.
Game, shot, and
Finally,
the match.
Gary Stone has done it. He has won a match here at the Super Series. He has played exceptionally well tonight, without reward, without result. It's a nice way to end the campaign there for Gary Stone. At least he gets to leave with that victory, a 4-3 success over Patrick van den Bogart. Our 3 final places have been concluded. We now know our final 6. Let's hand over to Henry and Glenn for the conclusion.
Thank you very much, Matt. So let's begin with Gary Stone, because he played some excellent stuff tonight. It just didn't get rewards, did he?
Yeah, I think it's the strangest story I've seen at the MODUS Super Series, because you can see why he's playing so well. You can see why he really fancied his chances. But it was a mixture of a couple of missed opportunities and just players playing really well and being inspired against him. It's sad that he's not in tomorrow night's final.
So these are the results from tonight's session. 10 matches we've broadcasted live to you on Sporty Stuff TV. Patrick van den Bogart was the bookender of the night, winning 4-3 in his first match against Richard North, for losing that last game by 4 legs to 3. But look, the story of the night is Wesley Plazier. He went through the card. He went through the card in some style as well. And the World Masters champion, well, he kind of showed some of those qualities tonight, didn't he?
And I still think there's another gear as well to go, but yeah, he was outstanding tonight, and this 1.64 finish here. He came with a big reputation, and I was slightly disappointed going into Group B. I thought in Group A, he said he was a little bit nervous. I put it down. I just felt he was a little bit lethargic, a little bit cumbersome. I thought there was just needed just a little bit more motivation up there, and boy, did he demonstrate that tonight.
Has he played himself into form at the perfect time?
Absolutely. I think we've got a contender now against John Henderson, and I think that them two, who were the bookies' favourites alongside Gary Sloan at the beginning, they don't often get it wrong, do they?
You never meet a poor bookie. Right, this is how the table squares up then in the end. Wesley Plazier then, the victor, going through the card, 12 points to his name. Patrick van der Buchada and Richard North on 10 points themselves. So they're on double digits, and then cut adrift Gary Stern and Mike Gillett. Let's talk about Patrick now then. Good achievement to get himself into Saturday night's final, but if he wants to progress and pick up the pot, he's going to have to up the levels tomorrow.
Yeah, but let's focus on the positives, because we didn't know a great deal about him. Another wonderful opportunity from the ADC Europe, and he's proved a lot of us wrong, including me this week. A very nice player and very good on the eye, aesthetically pleasing. Good luck to him tomorrow night.
So these are the finalists, and these are the groups for tomorrow evening's finale. The two groups then live in play for the finale tomorrow. Well, let's get first things first into Group 1, because we're going to see John Henderson in there with Justin Hood and Patrick van der Buchada. Do you expect Henderson to come out of that?
Yeah, I expect Henderson and Hood to come out that group. I think Justin's got an injury, but an extra 24 hours, we might see the best of him there. I think the top two names get through in that group.
As for Group 2, that looks a little bit more difficult to decide. Jared Cole, Wesley Plazier and Richard North. Now, we saw signs today of Jared Cole to the midway to the end of the session, that more the signs that we've seen from him here in the past.
Yeah, two very even groups, but I don't know which Richard North we're going to get, because you want him to do well, because he's the real character of them 6 players. And he's local. Hopefully he brings a few people down here as well. But once again, I see Jared Cole and Wesley Plazier getting through that group.
Plazier, Henderson, collision course possibly?
I think so. I think we roughly called that on Monday, and they were the two big hitters. They're the two big heavyweights, and that would be some final.
Well, we are looking forward to that tomorrow evening from 7:30 here on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel, before then continuing the action from the semi-finals onwards on Sporty Stuff TV from 10 o'clock. Well, myself and Glenn will be alongside Matthew Edgar once again tomorrow evening. It's been a good day today, isn't it?
A fantastic day, great day, darts, but it really starts tomorrow night, and I can't wait.
Always a pleasure to be in your company. Thank you for your company as well this evening. We shall see you tomorrow night then from 7:30 for the finale of the MODUS Super Series. But as far as Group B is concerned, well, it was Plazier who ended top of the pile.